the way it's worked out so far. No, maybe more like, yeah, ring it up. Justin Verlander and the New York Mets, 2 years, $86 million contract. Breaking news in from ESPN's Kylie McDaniel, the Philadelphia Phillies, and Trey Turner, the shortstop, are in agreement on an 11-year deal worth $300 million. Full no-trade clause. Remember, they've already got Bryce Harper under a lengthy contract. Baker Mayfield released today by the Carolina Panthers. Question is, where's he going to go? Monday Night Football tonight. Tampa Bay will take on the New Orleans Saints. Tampa sitting in 5-6. New Orleans a game back in the division. Bucks, however, still lead the division. At the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Throw it. Brazil 4-0 over South Korea. Game's gone to the half. Croatia moves on via penalty kicks earlier today.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. It is an Overreaction Monday here in the Ingles Studio.
It's also been the weirdest lead into a show ever. I wish the last 9 minutes had been on air. Actually, no, I don't, because we've both been fired. But
Probably.
People would have laughed a lot.
Oh, they would have. Oh,
we
man.
had people coming down the hall asking if Tank was laughing or crying.
Oh, it was both. It was actually both. I found the weirdest story ever, and I can't say a bit of it on this show.
You can tell exactly zero of it.
I want to so badly, but I cannot do it.
Nope.
It is the weirdest story. Clearwater, Florida. Maybe do a crime search for Clearwater, Florida. Because, wow, wasn't even his. Sheesh. Oh, buddy. It is hopefully it's going to be a victory Monday for me. Unfortunately, it's not a victory Monday for Jeremy.
Yeah. Jeremy's a lot better mood than you would think he is.
I am shocked. I was dumbfounded when I saw Mr. Chipper just bebopping down the hallway when he got here this afternoon, because I went, well, this was not the state I left you in at the Village Porch yesterday.
Yeah.
Because yesterday did not go your way for your New York Jets against the Minnesota Vikings.
No, we didn't win. I know definitively we have a quarterback. So
as you should. There are some positives to take away from that game. Absolutely.
Zonovan
I'm just
Knight,
shocked
dog.
you see them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mike LaFleur, you are dead to me. But I am not in as bad a mood as you would think.
I thought I was going to have to come in here and do full damage control of don't jump off the ledge. This isn't all that bad. I mean, yes, you were 1 for 6 inside the red zone, but there are positives to take away from this.
That's fine. It's fine.
San Francisco 49ers, they got some decisions to make. Get into that discussion coming up in just a little bit. Obviously, it's the Overreaction Monday. We'll have the best and worst stock up, stock down of the weekend in the daily draft at the top of the third hour of the program. Welcome, everybody, in to the broadcast here on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You can hear the Sportsocracy everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. It's time for the opening drive. And the opening drive always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, 629 Brevard Road. Drop our name when you go in to make your transaction, whether you're after a brand spanking new vehicle or one of their certified pre-owned vehicles. You will not be disappointed with either of them. Mention our name. They'll give you a $250 bonus on whatever your trade-in is worth.
I am in a brand new Nissan Frontier that's fully loaded, and there is something that just hits different about a black truck. I don't know what it is. I think they look phenomenal. The thing drives phenomenally, and I can't emphasize this enough. I feel like I am the biggest vehicle on the road.
Yeah, that's always a positive.
If it's positive for me, it may not be such a positive for you.
Well, nobody's concerned because you drive like my grandmother, so
also
it's not like you're barreling down, blowing people's doors off.
Correct.
Me in a truck, on the other hand, that might be a little intimidating.
Correct.
For some of you, but my 2017 Rogue, it's understated. It
fits you nicely.
I like to, sometimes I like to announce my presence with authority on the roads.
Which means he goes about $105. The fact that he and Asheville Police Chief David Zach have never had an uncomfortable interaction on the side of a road is a little shocking to me.
And now I finally have a car that can keep up with me, thanks to Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville and their certified pre-owned vehicle checks. My 2017 Rogue is the best thing I've ever had. Best thing I've ever had. Go give them a call or go over see them at 629 Brevard Road. Now, the San Francisco 49ers.
We got quarterback problems.
They took care of business yesterday against the Miami Dolphins.
Of which, thank you. Thank you, San Francisco. Brock Purdy's. Let's go. Needed that. Every AFC contender outside of the Cincinnati Bengals and Buffalo Bills.
Brock Purdy set a new NFL record. Never before had a Mr. Irrelevant ever completed a pass in the NFL. So congratulations to him for being the now answer to that trivia question forever.
Lamar Jackson goes down. Jimmy Garoppolo goes down.
Oh.
And now we got a quarterback that's out there that all of you should be fighting over.
We do. Carolina Panthers making a move today. And Jeremy's got a special conspiracy theory about that.
I brought my tinfoil hat. And I got an idea.
We'll get into that in just a second. But obviously the number one story of the day has to be about San Francisco and what are they going to do, because there is no doubt that this is a Super Bowl caliber team.
It's a fantastic defense.
Their defense is incredible. And now you have Brock Purdy starting at quarterback. And you got Baker Mayfield sitting out there. Do they do it? I'm fully on the no camp here. Like, you went out and got Josh Johnson, this is now the fourth time he's been with the San Francisco 49ers. He's very well versed in this offense, having been with the Jets, with Saleh and LaFleur last year. And the fourth time with the San Francisco 49ers, and he's heavily tied to Kyle Shanahan. So I feel like you should just take your best shot with the guys you got.
I'll be honest with you. If I'm the San Francisco 49ers, I'm not touching Baker Mayfield. No shot. And I am fully of the belief, and I'm going to tie this into my team, I'm going to tie this into the Miami Dolphins. I am 98% sure that a Labradoodle with an IQ above 75 can play quarterback in a Kyle Shanahan offense. You remember that thing I said about Mike White, that all of you are making fun of me because, Jeremy set himself up for the letdown.
Right.
No, you're missing the point. This is the definition of a system quarterback offense. Brock Purdy's system quarterback. He's going to be just fine. It changes absolutely nothing for me, for the San Francisco 49ers. Nothing.
Okay.
5 games in a row, they've allowed 17 points or less. Do you know the last time the San Francisco 49ers did that?
No.
1995 was the last time this team allowed 17 points or less 5 games in a row.
Wow.
This defense is evil. And Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins figured that out yesterday. You look down that schedule, there's not another loss. There is not one more loss. This team will finish either 12-5 or 13-4.
Regardless of who starts the quarterback.
I don't care if you start at quarterback for this team. Because none of the teams they play can score on them. Then you get into the playoffs, and who are you really worried about in the NFC? The Dallas Cowboys? We scored 54 on the Colts. The Raiders almost did the exact same thing, so maybe cool your jets on that. It's probably not the thing that's going to make me believe in how about them Cowboys?
Not worried about the Minnesota Vikings?
Not really.
It's a high-powered offense.
It's a good offense. Mm-hmm. They're fine. They're fine. I look at Minnesota and go, you played straight up with the 7th best team in the AFC at home. And that's who you are.
Yeah.
That's exactly who you are. Now, Philadelphia, they pounded Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And it was impressive, and it was good, and Philadelphia Eagle fans should be singing that stupid song at the top of their lungs today. But if you made me put down an amount of money that mattered to me on who's going to win the NFC, I'm still taking the San Francisco 49ers.
Really?
With Brock Purdy or Brock Lesnar or Brock Osweiler, I really don't care because that's not the point.
The quarterback's not what – no, I mean, they can take you
They
there.
live by 3 very simple principles. Don't turn the ball over, play aggressively good defense, and the Jeremy Greene special, run the damn ball. That's what they do. I just watched them beat a Miami team that everybody was losing their minds about, and it wasn't even close. What am I supposed to be worried about?
I mean, I would be worried that Brock Purdy just had a really good debut, and that look, he didn't look like a 7th-round rookie yesterday.
Why? You think it's because Look, I evaluated Brock Purdy.
They have
for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. They have limited every opportunity that he had to give the game away. They kept everything super short. I think his air yards average was like 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep everything short, keep him accurate.
Oh, that sounds really familiar. Who does that same thing? Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so beat Jimmy Garoppolo. Great. It's at what point do you figure out, and I'm not telling you, this is metaphorical because I've heard this San Francisco thing and the gnashing of teeth and, San Francisco's completely irrelevant now. How many coaches that come off this tree have to prove this to you before you understand it? You have 3 in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody lost their minds about Tua Tagovailoa as an MVP candidate. No, he's a really good version of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's all he is. That's it. That's what this offense does. There's a reason that they all play defense, and there's a reason that I like the Miami Dolphins the least of the 3 because they're the worst defensively.
Mm-hmm.
They're the one that asks the quarterback to do the most. Now, they have the best quarterback of the 3, but I don't think it's by that much. I don't think the quarterback I saw yesterday, Tua Tagovailoa, do you know what his QBR was? 19. 50 is league average.
That's not good.
That's the Mike White line is 50. So, the path to righteousness for San Francisco is we play really good defense. Mm-hmm. We're going to run the ball, and Brock Purdy will be asked to do very limited things.
Right.
Yesterday, you just decleated one of the best teams in the AFC, averaging 3.5 yards a carry with your 3rd-string quarterback. I don't care.
Brock Purdy time for the San Francisco 49ers. They did go out yesterday and get Josh Johnson again. So he's got familiarity. I fully expect him to be the backup. They'll go with Brock until Brock shows that he can't do it. If he shows that he can't, I'm not saying he can't. I mean, give him his shot. He's earned it. The way he played yesterday, staying within himself, throwing 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, that's exactly what you're going to get from Jimmy Garoppolo.
And this is exactly what I was saying last week. You either have a top 5 quarterback in this league, or you have a system quarterback. And the question is, how good is your system?
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco's is real, real, real good. If you take the Trey Lance debacle away, they lost 2 games with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to be just fine.
You're going to have to lean on that defense, though. Because
without a doubt,
you're not going to be able to get into a shootout with anybody.
But you don't have to
against that defense. Who's gonna score like that?
One team has scored on you like that all year. It was Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I sitting here telling you you're going to go to the Super Bowl and you'll be my favorite? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't understand the gnashing of teeth that I have heard about the 49ers today.
Well, because it's Brock Purdy, and we've never seen it. We've never seen a seventh-round rookie be able to come in and lead a team to a, 5-0 record or whatever it's going to be to the end of the season. We've never seen
and it's
it.
Mike White and it's Skylar Thompson. You've actually already read this book 2 separate times this year. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. So they'll be fine. No need to go get Baker Mayfield.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm not sure Baker Mayfield's actually better than Brock Purdy. And in this system, I'd argue he's worse.
He very well may be.
What is the biggest knock on Baker Mayfield? He does what? Holds the ball too long.
Yeah.
He holds the ball too long and then throws off time and turns the ball over a lot. It's the one way you can lose. But I do have a little conspiracy theory of why Baker was released today.
Why? Why would they make this move now? Is he getting loud in the locker room? Jeremy will put on his tinfoil hat. Coming up next here in the Sportsocracy.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Ingles Giving Tree benefiting Manna Food Bank will be on display at Asheville outlets. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all local Ingles locations or donate online. Help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
It's a new day because COVID vaccines just got a big update. So all the big stuff coming up this fall? Well, now you can say, you bet I'll be there. Because updated COVID vaccines protect against both the original COVID virus and Omicron. And everyone 5 and older can get one. So this is a moment we've all been waiting for.
Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Yeah, the Carolina Panthers making a move today. They just released Baker Mayfield. Like, just put him on waivers. We're done.
I tried to tell you. I've never been more right about a player in my life than I was about Baker Mayfield.
Absolutely. The question...
And how bad of a locker room hemorrhoid do you have to be for a team that's got Sam Darnold and P.J. Walker and still an outside shot at the playoffs to just go away. Just go away.
Steve Wilkes putting it out there like this was Baker came and asked for his release, obviously hearing about the San Francisco opening, I'm sure, and his agent feels like they may have a good shot of getting him signed to the 49ers. And so he asked for his release. And Steve Wilkes' explanation is, it's pretty much just we thought we would do right by him and give him an opportunity to catch on somewhere else.
That's a really sweet way of saying he is god awful.
Well, I mean, we all know this. It's all fully on paper. There are no excuses that can be made. I mean, I get that there are going to be excuses made. A bad offensive line, blah, 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 blah. Baker Mayfield's bad. Bad. 18.7, is that right? That's what his QBR is for the year?
Oh, yeah, and he's going unclaimed. I don't care if there's 5 games left in the season. Nobody's paying him, I think that would amount to $4 million.
Something like that.
For the rest of the year. Not going to happen.
No. But it'll give San Francisco the opportunity, if they want, after he clears waivers, to make a deal with him.
And I think it will fully prove my point when he goes unclaimed and then goes unsigned.
Mm-hmm.
A former number 1 pick in the last 5 years. Josh Rosen has gotten 4 chances in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And Baker will fade off into the sunset.
This is the last. This is no more. Nobody will sign him.
Name me the team.
I don't know. I still can see a path where San Francisco goes, okay, now we have to do it.
I can't. I cannot see a path.
If Brock Purdy implodes next week and throws 4 interceptions, even though they're keeping the game short, you go for Josh Johnson and that's it?
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you, I think both of them are better than Baker Mayfield, especially in this system.
Maybe so.
Baker fits in San Francisco like I fit into a moo-moo. Well, it's not a good look.
I mean, he has some experience with that system. They ran some of the key principles of it in Cleveland. So,
and he was awful in Cleveland too.
Yeah.
And he was awful in Cleveland too.
We've had the debate about that over and over again. He was good some games, he wasn't good other games.
Yeah, that's the definition
of awful. He never was
special. You know who else does that? Sam Darnold. Great. Yeah, I'm going to pass.
But it's better when you have a shot. Like, if it comes to the point, like, who's going to be shocked to see Brock Purdy do that? No one.
I will be shocked to see him implode. I will be shocked to see him asked to do much.
Mm-hmm.
It will stun me if they ask him to do much.
They won't.
But, I mean, when you've got Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey back behind you, Jordan Mason looked like a good running back in this league yesterday, and that defense, I need you to score 17 points a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. I don't need Baker Mayfield. I don't need the outside influence. I don't need any of that.
Right.
I need the guys in this locker room to do what they are asked to do.
Look, I'm with you. I wouldn't do it. I would roll with what I got. Obviously, there's some feeling there with Josh Johnson, some familiarity there with Josh Johnson, so let's roll with what we got. I'm just saying I could still see a path to it. If it goes bad the next couple of weeks and they lose games they're not supposed to lose, then we got major problems, and we're going to have to bring a quarterback in here that can at least hold his head above water.
And my argument would be that's still not Baker Mayfield. It would still be somebody else.
Okay.
Now, who that is, I don't know. Anybody seen Nick Mullins lately? What's he doing these days?
He's with somebody.
Jared Stidham. Have we located him lately? I just don't care.
Yeah.
But Adam Black in our YouTube comments, he did say, so what's the conspiracy? All right. I'm not saying that this is the whole reason they did this. They did this because they wanted rid of Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
And a la Step Brothers, they looked at him and said, we need you to do something about your face because it is starting to really irk me.
And there was a way that they could spin it and look like the good guys.
Correct. But do we not find the timing to be very odd? Do you not see the timing of this is strange? Baker asked for his release 5 weeks before the season ends. 45 minutes after Jimmy Garoppolo goes down. You do realize the Panthers have 3 of their picks this year, right? I'm not saying it was all the reason. I'm just saying I feel like Scott Fitterer was sitting in his office going, they need a quarterback badly. And I'm not sure that there is one in the NFL that would be worse than Baker Mayfield. And they might cave to public pressure.
So he's daring them to do it. This is Scott Fitterer going, do it.
This is Scott.
Push it to the table and go, oh, why don't you improve my draft stock? Sign this dumpster fire. Let him implode your whole season.
Look, I'm just saying I got a recording from the Panthers front office, and I'm going to play it for you now.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
That's all I'm saying.
That's an impressive theory. I like it. It's very devious.
What'd you expect from a man that doesn't think birds are real? What more did you expect from me?
I wish that was the way this went down. But I don't feel like that had anything to do with it.
I do. Not much. But I feel very
but
sure the thought crossed his mind.
It was in the back of their minds as they did.
Hey, that team that we have 3 of their picks, they need a quarterback. Maybe we'll convince old Dumpster Fire McGee over here to head west, young man, and blow up that franchise.
No, San Francisco, I have much more faith in John Lynch than that. I think he knows. I think he's in the know. Baker Mayfield's not the answer. And maybe, and I'm sure that's what Baker feels. Baker feels like he's got an opportunity here. It's not going to happen. I am kind of surprised I've heard no one screaming the Colin Kaepernick thing. I can't wait for that to be.
Well, he's been out of the league for 7 years. It's at some point you just have to stop.
I don't know. Do you though?
Colin Kaepernick and I are the same age, so I
get it.
I don't think that's. Plus, there's absolutely no tie with this front office.
We were still playing this game. We were still playing this game before the season started. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned it. That's all I'm saying.
It's been mentioned.
Oh, has it been?
Oh, I've seen it mentioned in more than one place.
I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere. So, San Francisco, they're still a contender. This doesn't change anything.
No.
I mean, it changes a little bit for me.
Now, here's the thing.
The confidence
NFC
level
is
has
good.
gone down for me.
A little, but not much. It's gone down a little. I mean, look, to me in the NFC, it is very clear that there is the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, and it's not really all that close.
Right.
Because now I've seen them beat you every way humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
They suffocated Derrick Henry, and Jalen Hurts threw for 486 Julian yards. And apparently A.J. Brown can just run through a corner, and that's – me and officials and I, we did not have a good day yesterday.
No, there was a lot of one-sided arguing going on with the television with Jeremy Greene.
I hate officials.
But yeah,
be consistent. Whatever it is, let it be that way for both. That's all I'm asking for.
That first A.J. Brown touchdown was the first pancake touchdown I've ever seen.
First one in NFL history where a receiver got a pancake block and a touchdown in the same play.
He just laid him down like a little boy. Just boop. There you go. And my ball.
Lay down. And then Christian Fulton laid there like, this is not going to be on the highlight tape for me.
Oh, it's going to be on his highlight tape. No doubt about that. Just like Jalen Carter holding up Jaden Daniels in the SEC championship game. I still think that should be our new show logo.
No, it's not going to be.
It should be. That should be the new silhouette for the college football playoff.
We have the best logo that you could possibly have. We're not replacing it with your stupid college football team.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
I really want to tell this story, but I can't.
Well, it wouldn't fit.
It
here
wouldn't
anyway.
fit here anyway. It wouldn't fit here anyway. Look, I know that we should be sensitive to people's histories. I get it. Like, if somebody's been through a traumatic experience, it's probably not a good idea to, bring it up, rub it in that person's face. We all know this, right? It's kind of human decency. However, there is a line for me, and I don't think that I can get down with this. So there is an organization apparently called the Lightning Strike and Electrical Shock Survivors International, and they're upset about the PointsBet commercial with Drew Brees, where he fake gets struck by lightning and then shows up on the bus or on the back of the ambulance with the cartoonish, frizzy, smoking hair and dusty face, because it makes light of a traumatic experience. They have now, I guess, in protest, are now saying that this is, quote, disgusting and inappropriate, that PointsBet would make light of such a traumatic experience, and that this could be, for lack of a better term, triggering for survivors of lightning strike shot. Like, I want to be sympathetic, but I think you're being crazy on this one.
I've never been struck by lightning, so I can't speak to that. I can just say I thought it was in very poor taste. And as a marketing guy, I thought it was really stupid.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was incredibly stupid. See, because here's the thing. What's it convert into? Oh, so we got everybody talking about PointsBet. Okay. See, here's the layer of good marketing that I think they failed to realize. Yeah, you got a lot of people to talk about you. How many people did you get to create an account with PointsBet? Because I'm going to say it was very few.
Probably not many.
I'm going to say it was very, very few.
Maybe so. I just feel like insensitive is a little...
I get why they're saying that.
You're being a little sensitive.
I get
in my
why they're
opinion
saying
on
that.
This. I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to make a joke about your traumatic experience, but have you ever seen the movie The Great Outdoors? Maybe you should ban that movie with the guy who's been struck by lightning 472 times.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. And my story, I am 100% trying to make a joke. UNLV they're looking for a new head football coach because they fired Marcus Arroyo, which was very odd timing because he had been horrible and then had one of the best years in the last decade of UNLV football. Well, according to the Review Journal, which the Las Vegas Review Journal, they have 4 candidates. Kevin Sumlin, former Texas A&M and Arizona coach. Mike Stoops, former Arizona coach.
Mm-hmm.
Former Boise State head coach Chris Peterson. And then the one that I really want them to hire. Go Tigers. It's Ed Orgeron. Please do this. Ed Orgeron in Las Vegas. Are you kidding me? Do you understand how much fun this would be? Ed Orgeron with a $30 million war chest and his new girlfriend, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. That guy in Las Vegas, in. Sign me up right now. Go Tigers.
I feel like that's a lot of sanctions waiting to happen.
I feel like this is UNLV going, hey, look what we did. We floated that we want to hire Ed Orgeron. He has yet to actually take one of our calls, but we said it. And then they end up hiring Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah. Talk about a fall from grace.
Oh, yeah. I remember when people thought he was a great coach. 2012 was a wild time.
Yeah, and shocker of shockers, Jimbo Fisher ain't much better.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not, is he? Oh, and I'd
in fact, I think at this point, Kevin Sumlin has a better record when he was at Texas A&M.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't point this out, since we have bowl matchups now. My Florida State Seminoles get the Fighting Brent Venables in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Somebody put in our chat, please, dear God, with all the smack Jeremy's talked this year, please let Oklahoma win this game.
every starter at Florida State's playing in this game. This might be 75-0. And I'm 100%. I was upset that we're in the Cheez-It Bowl. I would kill to have somebody explain to me how Carolina got to the Holiday Bowl and we're playing in the Cheese Crackers Bowl. We finished 12th in the final bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You caught that smoke from Dabo Swinney, who finally learned our backup quarterback is way better than the starter.
Yeah. Cade Klubnik, hats off to him for a heck of a performance at Bank of America Stadium on Saturday night in the ACC Championship game.
And hats off to Dabo Swinney. That's what $12 million a year buys you.
That's right.
Something I said 4 months ago. I am a grown man with a mullet. You make $12 million a year. I figured this out a quarter before you did.
Tar Heels,
good for you.
Tar Heels and Oregon coming up in the Holiday Bowl. And you'll hear it right here on ESPN Asheville. Of course, we'll talk to Jones Angel about that. It was another bad week for Tar Heel sports. We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, frankly, I was at a function with the Asheville Buncombe Sports Commission today. Chris Smith, who I think the world of, great Tar Heel fan.
Mm-hmm.
I will give the man credit. Because he didn't want to talk about the basketball team, he didn't want to talk about the football team, women's soccer, playing for the national title tonight. I went, that's why I like you, because you're a beacon of positivity.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Jet stream level winds pointed right at western North Carolina. That's going to keep some gray weather in our forecast this week with seasonably cool numbers and some showers in and out of the picture. Light rain showers tonight, low 43 degrees. Showers Tuesday, Wednesday, high temps in the 50s and 60s. And more showers possible Thursday and Friday here in Asheville with high temps around 62. Nighttime low temps in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Enter the Craftsman Days Ultimate Garage Sweepstakes sponsored by Lowe's for a chance to win Craftsman products valued at over $10,000. No purchase necessary. Ends 12/31. Residents of 50 USDC, 18 or older, and age of majority, and have a Lowe's.com account. Void where prohibited. See rules at Lowe'sUltimateGarage.com for entry instructions, odds, prices, etc. Sponsor Lowe's.
The bicycles. The toy fire trucks. Instead of giving gifts that kids will outgrow, invite grandparents and friends to contribute to your child's future with the UNest app. UNest allows parents to create an investment account for their kids that makes it easy to gift funds that can be used for college tuition, a first car, and more, just by sharing a link. To get started, download the UNest app from the App Store or Google Play. See terms and conditions at unest.co. That's UNEST.co.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for 2 at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, ain't that?
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and yesterday the Cincinnati Bengals, they did it again. Like they Joe Burrow has that Andy Reid kryptonite. For some reason, the Kansas City Chiefs cannot beat the Cincinnati Bengals lately.
That's 3 in a row.
It is 3 in a row. And when you can stand up like that to the number one team in your division or in your conference, you're back in the Super Bowl discussion. Not that you truly ever left it to begin with, but they were on the periphery.
Slow.
They were on the periphery for a long time. But now I feel like that's a statement game that cannot be denied.
I'm going to say something that may not be popular, and I believe it with every fiber of my being.
Okay.
The Cincinnati Bengals are the best team in the NFL.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Better than the Buffalo Bills?
Yep.
Why?
Because Joe Burrow is that dude, and I have absolutely no idea how you're supposed to stop them. With Samaje Perine, who might be the most limited running back athletically that I've ever seen, he fits in the system well. Look, I'm not trying to slight the guy by any stretch of the imagination. They just find a way. No Uzier. Oh, what happens? Next man up.
Mm-hmm.
They're the team that I am seeing do that. And let's go through it. Buffalo Bills. You lose Von Miller. All of a sudden, the pass rush is not as good as it was. All of a sudden, I see little cracks. And look, I still love Buffalo. But if I had to put an amount of money on this that mattered to me, of who is going to represent the AFC in the playoffs this year, I'm going to go with the Bengals. Because here's the difference. Again. I've seen Joe Burrow do it. I've never seen Josh Allen do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Josh Allen's a better quarterback. He's really loosey-goosey with the football. And that was impressive. That was impressive from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
There just seemed to be a lot of toys. All the way down to Chris Evans, who catches a touchdown yesterday. I forgot he was on that team, and I liked him a lot coming out.
No Joe Mixon, no problem.
No problem.
No problem. You can still roll on, Jamar Chase, first game back.
Greatest incompletion I've ever seen in my life.
7 catches, almost 100 yards.
It's the greatest incompletion I've ever seen in my life. One-handed over Trent McDuffie. Never even put it in his second hand. Just pulled it down and put it down by his side. Like, Yep. Hey, look what I found. Football.
The Kansas City Chiefs do that thing that you have to do to beat the Cincinnati Bengals do that thing that you have to do to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Just be great offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Have elite quarterback play. And that's when you see Kansas City stumble because they don't have the horses on defense.
No.
Their secondary has never been awesome. But I feel like they really that is one thing that has continued and will continue to bite them.
That Cincinnati offense is as terrifying as any I have ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have two legitimate ones. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are both top 15 receivers in the NFL, fact or fiction.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Name me another team that has that.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I love Gabriel Davis. If you're telling me I get T. Higgins or Gabe Davis, I am not going to think about that for very long.
I think only Miami would come close to that.
Yeah, and you've got Tua Tagovailoa. So, sorry.
I mean, there's a vast difference, obviously, in the quarterback play, but I'm, considering the wide receivers, I think they're the only other team in that discussion.
The AFC playoffs are going to be I don't know that there's a word good enough to explain how good I actually see this being. You realize that the LA Chargers at this point would need an act of God to get into the playoffs. That's how good the AFC is.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in the NFC, you're going to get those two teams that tied yesterday.
Yay. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Sacred Time, we won't be discussing that game for very long today because there wasn't a lot to discuss.
No. Washington and New York tied. End of message. Repeat the line.
The only real analysis you're going to get there is, why do we still have ties in the NFL?
I am
the only
rather
two
sick of it as
sports
well.
that cannot figure this out are the NFL and soccer. Not really the path that I want to follow. Maybe stop at the ties.
Yeah, nobody likes ties.
And it really complicates the playoff. Here's what I can't wait for. Since we still have another week of bye weeks left, people trying to figure out, so is it better to be 7-5-1 or 7-6?
7-5-1.
Yeah, it's easy when you say it that way, but you'd be shocked how many people get confused by that.
I don't feel like it's that hard. Just the lower number in the loss column is the better number.
Correct.
Right. Like, this is simple math. You don't need a Football for Dummies book for that.
I really thought I would get more pushback on that Bengals take than you gave me.
That they're the best.
They're the best team in the AFC.
I don't. Look, there's three teams I feel like that are in that discussion now. No Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, you can cut them off. Like that's not.
Oh, have no fear. I have a spicy take about the AFC North too.
That's
we'll get to that in the next hour.
Tennessee Titans, after I just saw them get dominated by the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't know if there's something, if there's like panic time supposed to be happening with Derrick Henry right now. I'm not too concerned. It's just, to me, it's still a lull. Shows that Philadelphia has upped their game in the run defense. But they're not a serious contender. No. It's Buffalo, it's Kansas City, and it's Cincinnati.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with anything you just said.
However you rank those teams, to me, it's basically a coin flip. Because I could see all three of them winning.
I can too. I could also see none of them winning. I do see a path that you get some weird dark horse out of the AFC.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't get there. Because in order for that to happen, somebody's going to have to pull off the upset against Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't think anybody's going to do that other than
Cincinnati or Buffalo. I think both of them could do it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. But I don't see your Jets beating them. If it came down to it in the playoffs, I don't think I would see your Jets beating them.
Not with Mike LaFleur, no.
No.
Public enemy number one, Mike LaFleur.
Miami Dolphins, not a shot because you can't stop them.
Here's the problem, though. In the AFC, I will say as of right now, there is a very good chance that you get the Jets and maybe the Patriots. And the Titans are the other one I really want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two teams that, I understand Tennessee got smoked yesterday. That was the A.J. Brown show. All right. We weren't making it up when we said he was the best receiver in the NFL. Those are two teams that there's a lasting effect. Now, you watched the Jet game with me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You lost. I guarantee you about half Minnesota's roster is going, man, I'm glad we don't have to do anything today. Because we got hit a lot.
No doubt about it. And I'm sure we will get more into the failures of the New York Jets coming up at the top of the hour.
I don't necessarily want to talk about the failures. I want to talk about the successes. I've heard enough about the failures.
Well, it's the failures that concerns me about your ability to go in and make a deep run in the playoffs. I don't feel like there's any shot that you're not making the playoffs.
Oh, I do. This is still the Jets. Always remember.
Oh, you'll figure out a way.
Jets going Jet, baby.
Yeah.
Jets going Jet until they don't anymore. So,
yeah.
But I just look at the AFC and go, if you want to say Buffalo's the best team in the AFC, great. Saw Rick Rice earlier. He believes that. I can't fault you. Kansas City Chiefs. I can't fault you. I would take Cincinnati. The one where I've seen the quarterback win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I get Mahomes has done it too. I just look at the supporting cast in Kansas City. You have the worst of the three, and it's not even close.
No. It's not as good.
And at some point that has to matter when all three of these quarterbacks are this close.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Patrick did a topic earlier of what quarterback under 25 years old would you start a team with? There's not really a wrong answer to that. I mean, Mahomes and Josh Allen are both over 25, and I think Burrow's right on it.
Mm-hmm.
How splitting hairs do we get there? And Ross Tucker said Jalen Hurts, and I felt blood come out of my ears, and I didn't hear the rest of it.
Well, he just likes the game of putting together the scheme around Jalen Hurts. Can be done. It can be done because Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, they've done quite the job with the Philadelphia Eagles.
In our YouTube comments, Bill Buttigieg said, "Here goes Jeremy with the bandwagoning." What exactly? Where's the bandwagon here? I had Cincinnati as the fourth best team in the league going into the season. I don't quite know how that's I'm not sure you understand what the word bandwagon means. It'd be one thing if I was touting the Miami Dolphins, who I was beating the drum against all year long.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a bandwagon. No, there are the three very clear best teams in the AFC to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it still is. Then there's a drop-off, and you get Tennessee, Miami, the Jets. I don't want to put anybody else in that tier.
But I feel like all of those, or two of those three teams, I trust one of them way more. Let's talk about that when we come back from the break. Three teams at the top of the AFC, and I have the utmost confidence in one of them. The other two, I could very well see them falling by the wayside. You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville Outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And when it comes to losing, you'll never lose like you will with the PhD weight loss program. 90 pounds since last Thanksgiving. In a year, my life has completely done a 180. I was sitting at 300 pounds last Thanksgiving and going, this is just who I am. And then I met with Dr. Ashley Lucas and the folks at PhD, and they convinced me, no, you can do a lot better. And now I'm almost 200 pounds, and I feel like a completely different guy.
I had never gotten to an aggressive weight. I had just gotten chunky. I had been lazy with my decisions, and I was living a pretty sedentary lifestyle. That all changed with PhD. They got me on the right course with what I eat. In less than a year, I'm back to my high school weight. I've slid into a whole new wardrobe, and it's thanks to the planning program of PhD Weight Loss.
Sports fans, I know we like to gamble, but don't gamble with your health. Take the sure thing. MyPhDWeightLoss.com. You will not be disappointed. MyPhDWeightLoss.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Steve is intrigued by the paranormal.
Otherworldly spirits really make a house a home, you know?
Janice has different taste.
I'd like my house to not be haunted.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Steve and Janice found a renovated Victorian that's only haunted from 9 to 5.
Okay, wife's home. Y'all gotta bounce. Bye, Steve.
Bundling without compromise at Geico.com.
People here are raving about QC Kinetics and how regenerative medicine has changed their life. People like Helen, an avid mountain climber who got sidelined when an accident left her knees in constant pain.
I was not able to train or do really anything on my knee.
Helen was told surgery would be her only option. But then she found QC Kinetics and was treated with natural biologics designed to repair and restore tissue in her knees. 3 months later, she was climbing the highest mountain in North America.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain. I began treatment, and in March, and I summited Denali June the 7th. It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Get your life back with lasting results. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals. Whatever order you want to put those teams in is fine with me. If you say Cincinnati's number one now, I mean, I can see. You can make the case for all three of these teams. But when it comes down to it, I'm still more confident in the Kansas City Chiefs than I am these other two teams.
And the funny part of that to me is that's the one I'm the least confident in.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's not really all that close.
Wow. I mean, I get that you've seen Kansas City now lose 3 times in a row to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. That shows that you don't have the answer. Whatever the answer needs to be for you to win these games, it's not happening. And it's Buffalo with the turnovers. Buffalo, I have more faith in Patrick Mahomes in those clutch situations than I do with Joe Burrow.
I don't.
And Josh Allen.
I would probably agree with that on Josh Allen. I don't trust any quarterback in the NFL more than I trust Joe Burrow.
Really?
I just don't. He's the best quarterback in the league, and it's obviously close.
I mean, he does have that big game swagger.
He also has 2 ones. I mean, look, you're splitting hairs here.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of these guys has 2 legitimate A1 receivers. And to me, there's 4 teams in this league that are clearly better than everybody else. I feel very sure, I haven't done power rankings yet, but I feel like Kansas City's going to be 4.
Okay. Cincinnati will be in the top 3?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City has played the Bills and the Bengals. You lost to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're great at beating the Chargers and the Cardinals, and okay, you beat the 49ers. They don't have a quarterback that could even is in the vicinity of what you have. Beat one of these high-end quarterbacks, then we'll talk. And stop putting Justin Herbert in that conversation. Great quarterback, don't get me wrong, but if there is a significant drop-off from Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, Herbert.
I would agree. We'll get more into the reaction from the Chargers' loss to the Raiders coming up later on in the program. As well, it is a Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Coming up at the end of the program, Jeremy's going to have your picks, best bets for the night on Monday Night Football as well.
Got a prop banger tonight, too.
Stick with us.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Jet stream level winds pointed right at western North Carolina. That's going to keep some gray weather in our forecast this week with seasonably cool numbers and some showers in and out of the picture. Light rain showers tonight, low 43 degrees. Showers Tuesday, Wednesday, high temps in the 50s and 60s. And more showers possible Thursday and Friday here in Asheville with high temps around 62. Nighttime low temps in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples is your one-stop destination for shipping supplies and services. And right now, get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item. Offer ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to tap into human emotion. First with some music. Then, in a serious tone, I'll say, save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. And even though it was about saving money with Progressive, we'll fade out the music so you know it was poignant. Wow, powerful stuff. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies.
It is season number 2 of the NFL Explained podcast. I'm Mike Yam, and I got a new co-host this season. Here we go.
Yes, you do. I am real Mike Robin. This podcast hopes to give you the who, what, where, when, why, and how of everything you ever wanted to know about the National Football League. Come on, man, let's get it.
I'm with you there. Trust me, we're going to have you covered on season 2 of the NFL Explained Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. Payday around the Major League Baseball winter meetings. They get underway in San Diego today, and man, we got a couple massive deals. The Philadelphia Phillies spending more money, or as Dave Dombrowski says, not my money. Philadelphia agrees with Trey Turner on an 11-year, $300 million deal with a full no-trade clause. Earlier in the day, the Mets and Justin Verlander agree on a 2-year, $86 million contract. News from around the World Cup. Quarterfinal matchup is now set. Croatia will take on Brazil. Croatia moves on against Japan via penalty kicks. Croatia's keeper actually stopped 3, made 3 blocks of the 4 penalty kicks taken. Brazil had a 4-1 win over South Korea. Brazil scores the first 4 goals, their only 4 goals, in the first 35 minutes of the match. Baker Mayfield needs a new home. Former Carolina Panther, former number 1 overall pick, cut by the Carolina Panthers today. They get set to move on. Jackson Smith and Jigba of Ohio State, Anthony Richardson of Florida have announced they're entering the upcoming NFL draft. Raiders Patriots in Week 18 gets flexed to a Sunday afternoon game. That affects the Vegas Bowl as well.
In the year on a hiring note, Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you haven't taken problems out
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
It's ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Take us with you live everywhere you go, or on demand. You can get the podcast as well. That has been rectified, whatever problem we were having last week. So thankfully, we will have the podcast back up and running once again on the iHeartRadio app. You can see us everywhere on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and join us in the chat each and every day. And you can vote in the polls. I'm sure Jeremy will come up with some kind of fun poll, like what is the best punishment that you should have for Mike LaFleur?
Viking funeral.
Viking. I mean, you're just shipping him off the island. Like, you're done with Mike LaFleur. Is that where you're at?
I was never in on Mike LaFleur, to be fair.
Yesterday, Jeremy's Jets, I mean, they moved the ball pretty well with Mike White.
Mike White's the quarterback of this team, period. End of discussion. Move on.
The problem is when you got into the red zone, you could not punch it in for 6.
Yeah, because you forgot a very basic tenet, which Joe Burrow really understands and Josh Allen really understands. Hey, you have one of the 15 best receivers in the NFL. Maybe throw him the ball. The guy that they haven't been able to touch all day. No. I would love.
He needs a breather. He needs a breather like every other play, apparently.
That was the dumbfounding part, is how often he wasn't on the field.
Right.
Then you get that 3rd and goal. And the only thing I can imagine was Mike LaFleur sitting there selling this to the rest of the offensive staff. All right, fellas. All right, I know Garrett Wilson, that's what you all want me to do. But hear me out. We take the 5'9" kid with the Backstreet Boys haircut, because nobody will be expecting that. Catch it! It hit you in the numbers!
You're still in the game. You were still in the game. You still had a chance down to the end. And that's all you can ask. That's all you can really ask.
All right, look, you thought I was going to come in here super morose because we lost to the Vikings.
Yes.
That's not a bad Vikings team. I don't think they're as good as everybody pubs them to be.
They're not as good as their record says they are?
Correct. That's where you are what your record says you are kind of falls apart. That's the second best team in the NFC. They played straight up with a team that may or may not make the playoffs in the AFC at home.
Mm-hmm. Again, I feel like you're gonna make the playoffs. I think you're gonna get enough wins to hit that threshold.
If you're the Jets, you have to be looking at the schedule going, we have to beat the Jaguars, the Seahawks, and the Lions. I don't care if you get beat by 60 by the Bills and by 50 by the Dolphins. You win those 3 games, you're in.
Right.
10-7 is making the playoffs in the AFC.
I would agree. I get Jets going Jet. Everybody wants to poke fun, but I still feel like this is a team that's gonna be able to go into the playoffs. And I don't count you out of any game.
No, because that defense is evil.
Exactly. Would I be shocked? Would I be super shocked to see Buffalo beat themselves against the Jets? Or maybe the Jets play really well for 4 quarters and then the Buffalo Bills beat themselves in the final seconds like they did against the Minnesota Vikings. Would that shock me next week? Not at all.
Here's what I understand I'm a lifelong Jet fan, so I understand cynical Jet fans better than anybody. Here's what people seem to be forgetting. Mike White just started his 5th game in his career on the road against one of the best teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you have them 5. I don't care if you have them 9. They're in the top 10 of NFL teams, and you played them on the road. Your defense did not do you a lot of favors in the first half, and neither did the officials, but that's a story for another day. We're not going to complain about that. Not going to complain about the fact that you can have an interception and the corner got there before the ball passed the line of scrimmage. But that's – okay.
Heard that a lot yesterday.
I was so – good Lord.
That's
the reason I don't have any friends that are officials, because if there had been somebody even wearing a striped shirt, I would have just gone and yelled at them incessantly.
Because then the ensuing part of that first half was, what was it, 4 consecutive
penalties on the Jets secondary that were all less than the pass interference on the interception. I'm not bitter.
Oh, our guy can get mugged, but we can't even breathe on these guys. Oh,
yeah, you heard that at time or 5.
It was all afternoon.
And after domestic light 17, it was way worse.
Yeah, it was. That's when I tapped out and went, "Oh, I got a Christmas party to go to. I will."
You tapped out exactly when you had to tap out to get there on time.
I did. Wanted to tap out earlier, but I just couldn't because I was kind of enjoying the dumpster fire. But
it wasn't a dumpster fire. This was a game that you could.
You were. You were the dumpster fire. That's what I'm saying.
Well, not really. It was. The play call was bad. Fact or fiction?
Oh, absolutely.
I had every right to be upset with Mike LaFleur, just like every Jet fan should be.
Absolutely.
That to me is your biggest limitation. No doubt. It is the biggest limitation of this team is that Mike LaFleur is not a good play caller.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen everything I need to see out of Mike White. He is a good NFL quarterback, and he does exactly what he is asked to do. Running back, it hasn't mattered. James Robinson has been good. Michael Carter has been good. Zonovan Knight, Breece Hall, doesn't matter. It's just different layers of good.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense does everything you ask it to do. Now, I would love to know why the defense is so good in the second half and not as great in the first half. I cannot wrap my brain around that.
Right. Because, once again, you're pretty stout in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Lead the NFL in point differential in the fourth quarter.
And
Minnesota Vikings are too.
So. And continue to do so because you outscored the Minnesota Vikings in the fourth quarter yesterday. So now you have a 4-point advantage on them in that. And there's nobody else even close.
No. Here's how I walk away from this. It is a really good sign to me that you're better in the fourth quarter than you are in the first.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
That's adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's an anomaly. What I would expect from a typical Jets team is to come out hot, just start strong, and then fizzle it away. There's a lot of fight in this team, and that's what I like about them.
Mm-hmm. And look, you showed up in Mighty Duck jerseys together because we're the little underdog that nobody appreciates us. I'm fine with that. I have seen all of the, the sky is falling. No, it's not. You're at least a year ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have everything you need in your hands. 3 games that you have absolutely no excuse to lose, and you make the playoffs. Now, do I think you're going to do anything when you get there? Not particularly. I don't. I mean, I think you have a better shot against, say, Cincinnati or Kansas City or Buffalo than the average team does because you have 2 very high-end corners.
Yes.
And a third that gets no love whatsoever in Michael Carter. The other one, not the running back.
Right.
I mean, what am I supposed to be so upset about? You got in the red zone 6 times against the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm not telling you that defense is great because it's not. They went bend, don't break. It was very typical Ed Donatel play call. We're going to let you have those yards in the middle of the field because we can't stop you.
Mm-hmm.
They had no solution for Garrett Wilson. They really had no solution for Elijah Moore. He just can't catch.
It just continued to baffle me. I mean, like, is it just Mike LaFleur is an idiot, or is it he just has a blind spot?
No, he's a stereotypical Kyle Shanahan disciple that overthinks everything and gets too cute. Sometimes you just have to realize I am better than you, and I'm going to impose my will. I have a receiver you cannot stop. Throw it to him. Throw it into him until they stop him. It's not that hard. And if you do that, you would be walking away victorious today. You didn't do that.
It seemed like every time there was when Garrett Wilson would run a 30, 40-yard route, he'd take him out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why?
Stop doing that.
Why does he need that? I mean, is his conditioning so bad that he needs a breather?
No.
This
is what they've done with every receiver they've ever had. Kyle Shanahan does the exact same thing. It is infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
There are times that you just have to have your best players on the field. Stop outthinking yourself.
Yes.
But no, I mean, today I'm not upset. I'm not.
It's good.
You played heads up with a team that's very good. You're way ahead of schedule, and Mike White is your quarterback moving forward.
I am super shocked, and I feel like the rest of our listeners in the House of Reprehensibles are as shocked as well, because we fully expected the tirade today. The fact that you've taken a more mature stance on this and not burning Mike LaFleur in effigy today.
It's just not surprising. I mean, this is a guy that's in his second year as a play caller. He had never been a coordinator before. Am I shocked that Ed Donatel, who's been in the league longer than I've been alive, outsmarted him? No, I'm not. Now, what will upset me is if you don't learn from this. If you go into Buffalo this week, that game's close, and Garrett Wilson's on the sideline for half of that drive. Yet now I'm markedly more annoyed than I was before.
Right.
But Robert Saleh has learned the lesson, and I think Mike LaFleur probably does too. Look, last year Saleh was a joke at times, overthinking himself, putting in the 7th defensive lineman in games that are close. He doesn't do that anymore. Weird. You watched every snap of that game with me yesterday. How often did you see Quinnen Williams come off the field? It wasn't very often.
I don't remember seeing him come off.
He did, but it wasn't very often.
I'm sure he did.
Because he learned. Best player needs to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I would wager when they watch the tape, they're going to see that here. That team at full strength is terrifying. If you make the playoffs this year, you're playing with house money.
Absolutely.
You get beat 42-3. This is still the best year you've had in a decade. There's just not that much to be upset about. It would be one thing if this was the Chiefs or the Bills or a team that I've seen do this. This is one of the youngest teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Satisfied Browns fan in our comments said, I hate to say it, but the Jets, if they had an elite quarterback, even though I like Mike, might be the best team in the league. I don't disagree with that. That's one of the most talented rosters I've ever seen.
It's quite possible.
And I just go back to my father being the rational Jets fan of, I've never seen us have a GM and a coach at the same time. We do. The rest of it will figure itself out. And I'll go one step further. You have the quarterback.
This is the guy moving forward.
Yes.
For the long haul.
I would re-sign him right now. I'm talking 4 or 5 year deal. I would do it right now. If he would take a 5-year deal for $25 million right now, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't think a second thing about it. I've seen you do everything I need you to. The guys obviously love you.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's 40% of the battle right there. And I know people are going to say, oh, you're overreacting. No, I've just seen this before. I actually watched this exact same thing with the team that I hate the most. I watched the New England Patriots do this exact same thing. And you know what happened? Tom Brady got better every single week because he was a limited quarterback athletically and tools-wise. Every week he got better. Every week the system got better. I'm not telling you Mike White's Tom Brady. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is at some point you have to stop worrying about where somebody was drafted and what their name is. I've watched every snap of Zach Wilson's career. I watched every snap of Sam Darnold's career when he was with the New York Jets. Mike White's in a different stratosphere. It's not even close. And it's comical to me, the people that don't see that.
Interesting. Had not thought about it that way. I mean, I feel like to win in this league, you're going to need, to win the ultimate prize, I feel like you're going to need a better quarterback than Mike White.
I don't. I feel like in this system, with the weapons you have, you can win at a high level. At the end of the day, the guy threw for 370 yards yesterday. Sure. But he threw 2 interceptions. One that was a very obvious DPI call. You can make fun of me for it. You saw it as clearly as I did. It was a joke.
It was no doubt.
And the second one was on the last play of the game on 4th down. Woo. I just don't care. That's a starting quarterback in this league. I said it with Sam Darnold with the 4-game run he had last year. I don't need to see you do this for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have it or you don't. Mike White has it. Zach Wilson doesn't. The quicker you figure that out, the better off you'll be.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving is slow, 26 westbound approaching Long Shoals Road and continuing to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound, stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, traffic volume is busy. 240 westbound, light delays between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road delays. Hendersonville Road northbound in Fletcher approaching Old Airport Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Oak.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Will Selva from Good Morning Football.
And I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz from NFL Total Access. Will and I are teaming up for a brand new podcast, El Huddle.
El Huddle is the first English-language original NFL podcast by and for the Latino fan base. But don't worry, everything will be in English with a little bit of Spanish and Spanglish flair thrown in.
No fluency required, just a love of the game and a love of the culture. Listen to El Huddle on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Dancing crew, trip for 2, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free, updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Steve is intrigued by the paranormal.
Otherworldly spirits really make a house a home, you know?
Janice has different taste.
I'd like my house to not be haunted.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Steve and Janice found a renovated Victorian that's only haunted from 9 to 5.
Okay, wife's home. I gotta bounce.
Bye, Steve.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Playoff picture coming into focus a little bit in the NFL after Week 13, and I've got serious questions about the Chargers.
As well, you should.
After they lost to the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday, I mean that's one that you couldn't lose. You had to win that game.
I screamed that one from the rooftops. Vegas is heavily on the Raiders. I couldn't 100% tell you why, but anytime I see something like that, I'm going to have a part of it.
Well, it's perhaps they looked at Jamari Salyer and went, "You are going to get beat like a kettle drum."
Yeah, poor old Justin Herbert got hit 14 times?
Yeah.
Sacked 5 of them?
Yeah. Chandler Jones had 3 in the first half alone. Jamari Salyer's not a tackle.
No.
Poor guy. But this team
what is my rule about teams in the NFL? If you can't run and you can't stop the run, you're not going to win very much.
Absolutely. Josh Jacobs had another really good day yesterday.
Devontae Adams
yards.
just annihilated you.
Mm-hmm. Chargers defense is not good. And now I think if he wasn't there already for you, Brandon Staley's got to be – I mean, his seat's like lava.
This is where Dean Spanos and the ownership group of the Chargers have to be exactly what they've never been. Brandon Staley's not a good coach in this league, period. You can try to justify him, and how many losses that the Chargers have walked out of stadiums this season could you directly put at the feet of Brandon Staley?
Mm-hmm.
Because of their 6, I'm at 4, and I think I'm being nice. You have to give Sean Payton whatever he wants. Because I got news for you. You're not making the playoffs.
No.
That's a pipe dream at this point. You got 2 teams with significantly easier schedules than you that are a full game ahead of you, and you're going to lose the tiebreaker to practically everybody. Because you play the Dolphins this week. Good luck with that.
It's not going to go
You
well.
couldn't handle Devontae Adams by himself. What do you think Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to do to you?
Right.
Then you play the Titans. Sorry, I just laughed at how many yards Derrick Henry actually might have in this game because it might be 400.
Right. A guy who's due anyway.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, you end at the Colts, Rams, Broncos. None of those 3 teams are good, and I still think you're going to find a way to lose one of them.
Mm-hmm.
How many years in a row do you have to do this where you lose that game that you just cannot lose and it keeps you out of the playoffs?
Yep. I have lost the faith in the Los Angeles Chargers. I held on as long as I could, and I made it 13 weeks into the season. But now I don't feel like you're in – there's no momentum for you going the rest of the way. You're in panic mode. How are we going to win? How are we going to stop how are we going to stop the opponents with all of the injuries that we've been through? And I get everybody has injuries. It's one of those facts of life that the Chargers just had so many that they couldn't overcome them, and I'm not really sure they would have overcome them anyway.
And Paul Richardson in our YouTube chat said, Jeremy, do you think Herbert's really the guy moving forward? I told you I think he has all the talent in the world, but he has no dog in him, which you have to have in the playoffs. I think he's got plenty of dog in him. I think he's got an idiot for a coach. I really do. Analytics are great. I love, and I'm the analytics guy. When you're inside your own 50, stop going for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are. The Jets did that yesterday, and I actually think my brain has just recovered from the significant injury that inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
It is very stupid to me to have a franchise quarterback, which is what Justin Herbert is to me. I think he's a top 6 to 8 quarterback in this league. And you've got him with a career assistant that's the one that's supposed to be developing him, that has no history of ever doing that, and a defensive head coach. It's one thing if you plan on winning games defensively. This team is awful defensively. Awful. then what is Brandon Staley actually doing here? I mean, we just keep me on the sideline because we think you look good with the logo on. But what is it that he actually does? Name me a player on that defense that's gotten better. I can give you a slew of them that have gotten worse. And it's just, to me, this is the time to pull the cord and you back the Brinks truck up to Sean Payton. If he wants $25 million a year, give it to him. He's worth it. You have a limited window in this league with quarterbacks because you're going to have to pay this kid a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Justin Herbert may hit $400 million on this deal that the window opens this offseason.
Right.
What do you think happens to that roster then? You think Keenan Allen's still here? Because I'm going to say he's not.
No.
Mike Williams, you think he's still here?
No.
Because I'm going to say he's probably not. I mean, yeah, you have a true, no doubt, top 5 receiver in this league in Josh Palmer, but
I was going to say Mike Williams might not be clinically alive by then.
Yes.
I mean, the guy gets hurt more than Mr. Glass. And
well, I mean, it's because he treats his body like he's a crash test dummy.
Mm-hmm. He plays with reckless abandon, and that is a big, big problem.
I have always said that I'll use the car analogy that you used earlier. If you give me a sports car, probably nothing bad's going to happen because I don't drive fast. Now, you give you a sports car, and something bad could happen because you do drive fast.
Yes.
That's kind of how I feel about Brandon Staley. You have given this kid a Maserati, and he has absolutely no clue what to do with it. Because this roster is good. Good.
Mm-hmm.
At virtually every position. And then you watch Derek Carr eviscerate you with one target. Carr threw for 250 yards yesterday. 177 were to Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs averaged over 6 yards a carry. Or just under 6 yards a carry, excuse me. So what are you doing here? Brandon Staley's not a coach in this league. He's not a head coach. He's not. The fact that he had dinner with Sean McVay a few times, the luster is off of that. It is time to move on. And for me, it's Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
That's plan A, B, and C. And you have an axe behind glass that says, in case Sean Payton tells us to go fly a kite, break glass.
What does that backup plan look like?
Make a very impassioned plea to Sean McVay.
Switch locker rooms and come say,
yes. Hey, Sean,
you're going nowhere
buddy,
with what
you got two choices. You're either going to commentate or lose a lot. We will give you a third option, and you don't even have to move zip codes.
Yep. The Los Angeles Chargers, that was one of the wrong calls that I made yesterday, and beat the Chief. It's gone my way so far.
Yeah, but it comes down to Monday Night Football.
Tonight. That's right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints. I am 7-6 on the week. Jeremy and the Chief are 6-7.
And I have the New Orleans Saints to cover the number.
He does. So we could tie, or I could get you by 2 games this week. So we'll just have to wait and see.
The season is still young.
It is. The season is still young.
I, much like the Las Vegas Raiders, am just rounding into form at the very perfect time.
Oh, come on. Are we going down that path now? That the Raiders are on the comeback?
I think there are 2 teams that are on the comeback that are going to make this playoff race much more interesting.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Let's get weird first.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
This could very well be a crime story, but, well, there's always so many crime stories. I can tell one here anyway. State College, Pennsylvania. A man was doing crimes in a car, was speeding. About 6 o'clock on Saturday night, and not only was he speeding, he was also not moving too well. So the cop stops him, driving a pickup truck, and sees that the guy stumbles out of the car. It's never a good sign. And so they said, "Hey, bud, how much have you had to drink tonight?"
It was 2 with dinner.
Nope.
That's always the answer.
Nope. His response was much response that you might expect from Jeremy Greene at a party.
47 domestic lights.
Clearly not enough. That's exactly what he said to the officer. Quote, clearly not enough.
That is the wrong answer.
That is the wrong answer.
It's much like an old Rodney Carrington joke. If you get pulled over and you're laughing, it's a bad sign.
Said, well, sir, do you know where you are? And his response, here. Again, don't feel like that's a good idea.
Nope, you're doing poorly so far.
Medical personnel were called to evaluate Mr. Rossetti, and it was reported that he was fine, and he was released into the custody of a relative. But then that's when the drunk guy got angry. He got angry, he started yelling, he started cursing, and then they were going to let him go. He was almost gone. Just, clearly you've had too much. We're going to let you go. And then he bit the officer.
Oh, don't bite people.
He bit the officer.
Don't drink and drive. Don't bite people. Don't do crimes. That's the reason we say this every day.
Yep. Not a major injury for the policeman, but this guy is obviously going to be in jail for a while.
This is the third story I've heard about somebody biting somebody. Stop biting people. What are you, a Doberman?
Bit it off.
I am not a huge fan of books. Who's shocked? Show of hands? Nobody? That's what I thought. But there is one that has been recently released that I could have some interest in. It's called Fans Have More Friends. It's by Ben Valenta and David Sikorjak. And basically what this book, the tenet of the book, is that sports fans, being a sports fan, improves your mental health. One of the quotes from the authors, sports are an ever-present facilitator of connection. Sports are the reason to get people together, the reason to send that text message, the reason to check in with your parents, and so on. Sports anchor and galvanize relationships. They facilitate social interactions. So basically what this whole book is about is that sports fans are mentally healthier than non-sports fans.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I think it's a great premise, and I totally understand everything that these two people have put together. And I would counter with, you have obviously never rooted for the New York Jets. Because I will say yesterday was not great for my mental health. Or my liver. Or my head, which still hurts a lot.
No shockers here.
37 domestic lights.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Jet stream level winds pointed right at western North Carolina, and that's going to keep some gray weather in our forecast this week with seasonably cool numbers and some showers in and out of the picture. Light rain showers tonight, low 43 degrees. Showers Tuesday, Wednesday, high temps in the 50s and 60s. And more showers possible Thursday and Friday here in Asheville with high temps around 62. Nighttime low temps in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slowing west of Airport Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County, 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Airport Road eastbound near Watson Road, an accident reported. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. Hendersonville Road, no problems. And Charlotte Highway, incident-free. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report sponsored by Harley-Davidson of Greenville, your upstate Harley dealer. Kick your holidays into high gear at Harley-Davidson of Greenville. We have the largest selection of pre-owned bikes in the upstate with over 200 models ready to roll. So visit us today at 30 Chrome Drive in Greenville or online at upstateharley.com. And happy Harley Days.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 826-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for two at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about goofier than a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Heard everywhere around the world on the iHeartRadio app. And dark horses for the playoffs. You've got another theory.
It's not so much a theory as just a don't look now, but you threw dirt on 2 teams, and they could make this rather interesting.
Okay, who's the first?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Seriously?
Seriously.
And how is this going to happen?
Well, I mean, don't look now, but they're playing really well.
Oh,
They won 3 in a row, and none of the 3 of them were all that close. The score was. The game wasn't. Fact or fiction, right now the Las Vegas Raiders are a better team than the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact, and I don't think it's even all that close.
Yeah.
And we made this huge deal about Josh McDaniels. Oh, he's stupid. He's such an idiot. Well, and you play the Rams, the Patriots. Your last 2 games are against the 49ers and the Chiefs, who both may not be playing for anything. And San Francisco needs to put everyone that matters in bubble wrap. And then there's that 5th game. You're going to tell me I'm out of my mind, but I've been saying this all year, and I wavered on it because I don't like their quarterback. Don't look now. The Pittsburgh Steelers may end up with a winning record after all.
Oh, man. It's hard to believe.
Oh, and neither one of these are really aesthetically pleasing.
No. Both of these teams are not good. And I get the Steelers, they can play defense. They can do enough in the running game to win nasty games. Obviously, just played really close, had to come back against the Atlanta Falcons to win that game.
All right, based on the schedule right now, you feel like the Bills are going to win the AFC East.
Yeah.
Fact or fiction?
Yes, fact.
I would say the Dolphins and the Jets are probably both going to get to 10 wins.
I would say that's a likelihood.
Cincinnati's going to win the North.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's going to win the South.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, even without Lamar Jackson, you've got a nice leg up because you're 8-4.
Yes.
At least one playoff spot left.
Mm-hmm.
And
you think the Las Vegas Raiders?
Well, you got Kansas City, and Kansas City's going to win the West. But that Baltimore spot is interesting to me. That Jet spot is interesting to me. Because I can see, frankly, I can see Baltimore losing out. I don't think his team's very good, and Tyler Huntley was dreadful at times yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to play several really good defenses. So I'm not telling you a spot's going to open. It could be the 7 I just said. Chiefs, Titans, Ravens, Bengals, Jets, Dolphins, Bills.
Mm-hmm.
The New England Patriots do not have any other game on this schedule where they will not be at least a field goal dog. Not one. I don't know that I can take the Chargers against anybody. Somebody's going to make this interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers' schedule looks a lot less daunting than it did a month ago.
But you have to get to 10 wins to do it.
We think that. There's always a game late that doesn't make any sense. Would it shock you if the Jets lost to the Jaguars? Okay, after yesterday, that's probably a bad example.
It would.
Would it shock you if the Jets lost to the Seahawks?
No.
There you go.
No.
Because if they do, now it's 9-8 to get in.
Let's go Jets, go Jet. Yeah. That's the game that you drop, and that's the one that makes it close. Okay. I just have a hard time still getting there.
I mean, you started this bad. You're going to have some help.
100%. You're going to have some help, and I'm not convinced that Pittsburgh will just walk over Baltimore without Lamar Jackson.
For me, it's not even just without Lamar Jackson. It's that line. That line is not very good.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the Steelers' schedule, they play the Ravens twice.
They do.
They play the Panthers. The Browns, who will have absolutely nothing to play for. Deshaun Watson. Man, he looked great yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
I tried to tell you.
It's a little rust after being off for 2 years, but we expect that to go away, don't we?
Well, here's the thing. If the Raiders and Steelers hold serve in the next 2 weeks, of which that first Raven game's in Pittsburgh, these two teams split virtually every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they beat the Panthers. And the Raiders win 2 games that they should win. You're going to have 2 7-7 franchises playing each other on Thursday Night Football on Christmas Eve. Or Saturday Night Football, or whatever day that is.
And the winner of that one
would have a leg very interesting.
Would have a leg up on the race for the playoffs. I get it. I still struggle to get there. Yeah, I'm not saying anything. Look, I counted out the Raiders last year, and they ended up making the playoffs anyway. Now, granted, they went in and got smoked, which is exactly what would happen this time around as well, but I can't say it's not going to happen.
I see a path that it gets more interesting. The Raiders look like a completely different franchise. Now, I understand that's happening against the Saints, the Colts, and the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
You played or the Steelers, excuse me, I said the wrong team there. The Steelers look completely different with TJ Watt.
Mm-hmm.
They can beat bad teams. I'm not sure how good Baltimore is with no Lamar Jackson. They've been particularly good with him.
We talked about the system over and over again. This team would be fine without Lamar Jackson, that they cannot pay him and let him walk, and Tyler Huntley would be just fine. Well, now it's time to prove that.
Yep.
Now it's time to prove that. Put the rubber to the road.
You're going to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't see a path where Lamar comes back for at least 3 weeks. I don't have any inside knowledge on what the knee injury is, but I wouldn't even think about it.
Well, they've basically already said he is very unlikely to play this week.
Mm-hmm. I would shelve him for the next 3 weeks and see how it goes. Because I think we can still win these games without him.
It's entirely possible. I could also see a path where T.J. Watt haunts his nightmares of 1 week from right now.
He very well could. And when the pass rush is in your face, obviously that's going to make a difference. It would make a difference for Lamar. It's obviously going to make a difference for Tyler Huntley.
By the way, B. Malik called you out on. I thought
on
that
what?
was right, that you said the Raiders went into the playoffs and got smoked. They were down 6 and at the goal line at the end of the game. That's not really smoked. They had to throw into the end zone to win this game.
Was it?
Yes.
I don't remember.
We did do that game live.
I've slipped since then.
Yeah, they didn't get smoked by any stretch of the imagination.
Whatever.
No, 6, 40, who cares?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A loss is a loss.
I mean, if somebody doesn't chirp up, then the AFC playoffs are going to be set with 3 weeks left in the season.
Right.
Somebody almost invariably falls off.
Mm-hmm. The question is, who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Baltimore Ravens without Lamar Jackson? Will it be the Jets? Are the Jets going jet? What game do they drop? And I still feel like Cleveland's the wild card in all of this because they have to play all of these teams.
Yeah, and they're awful. Yeah. They're bad.
Yeah.
You had to have 3 defensive touchdowns to beat the Texans.
I get it. Look, there's no defense for what happened yesterday with Deshaun Watson other than what did you expect? He's been gone for 2 years.
He looked like he forgot what a football looked like.
I thought he would come in and he would still be good. You would see that spark. But you saw none of that yesterday against the Texans.
Do you remember what I said the over-under on his passing attempts yesterday was?
No.
It's 22.5. Mm-hmm. You know how many threw?
How many?
22.
Oh, there you go.
3 defensive touchdowns. Good gracious, the Texans are awful.
Mm-hmm. It was It was a fumble recovery and 2 punt returns for touchdowns, I think it was.
There was an interception, a fumble return, and a punt return.
Excuse me, yeah. So I get it. They had to have a special day from the defensive special teams unit.
Oh, from now on, when we do fantasy game time decisions on Sunday, if you ask, hey, what defense should I play? Whoever is playing the Houston Texans.
Right.
I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the Lions. Play them. That Texans team is awful.
Mm-hmm. But the Browns still have games with all of these teams left. They even play the Raiders, don't they?
They do. No. They play the Bengals. Looking at the schedule, it's funny to me that you think that they're in any position to be a wild card.
No. I'm not saying
the Bengals, Ravens, Saints, Commanders, at the Steelers.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they have the ability. They don't have the ability to make the playoffs. They have the ability to shut this down for somebody. For Baltimore, for Pittsburgh.
Play spoiler.
Right, play spoiler. I'm not talking about winning because toss that out with the 11-game suspension. But they do have the ability coming down the stretch here to play spoiler for the Ravens and the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't know that you can get Deshaun Watson back into game form that quick. I mean, they play at the Bengals this week, and that has
not going to go well.
But the Bengals have been able to beat the Browns. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm aware of that.
You still have Myles Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
And Myles Garrett has been the difference maker in those games. He is all over Joe Burrow. They have no solution for him. So, is it out of the realm of possibility? No.
Yeah, there's something. We got to take a break, but there's another narrative that I have to talk about, and you can call me a hater. You call me whatever you want to. I'm so tired of one delusional fan base, specifically one former player that does a show that is just insufferable.
Who could he possibly be talking about? It's coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound delays between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road problem free. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time 19 minutes. I'm Lee Minfield with your time saver traffic.
This report sponsored by Harley-Davidson of Greenville, your upstate Harley dealer. Kick your holidays into high gear at Harley-Davidson of Greenville. We have the largest selection of pre-owned bikes in the upstate with over 200 models ready to roll. So visit us today at 30 Chrome Drive in Greenville or online at upstateharley.com. And happy Harley Days.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Steve is intrigued by the paranormal.
Otherworldly spirits really make a house a home, you know?
Janice has different taste.
I'd like my house to not be haunted.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Steve and Janice found a renovated Victorian that's only haunted from 9 to 5.
Okay, wife's home. Y'all gotta bounce.
Bye, Steve.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
This holiday ad will be over in 27 seconds. Unlike the new Duracell battery with Power Boost ingredients that can last 19,976 seconds in your kid's RC motorcycle, or 6,801 seconds on your beard trimmer for this year's family photo, or 15,172 seconds on your electric frother for some holiday eggnog, and many more seconds to get more out of your holiday season. Duracell, unlike this ad, engineered for more.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
I'm Will Selva from Good Morning Football.
And I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz from NFL Total Access. Will and I are teaming up for a brand new podcast, El Huddle.
El Huddle is the first English-language original NFL podcast by and for the Latino fan base. But don't worry, everything will be in English with a little bit of Spanish and Spanglish flair thrown in.
No fluency required, just a love of the game and a love of the culture. Listen to El Huddle on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
The Ingles Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingles Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingles Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingles, your neighbor for over 50 years.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. We're just chock full of Jeremy theories today. And now, who are you picking a bone with?
It's not really
Michael Irvin.
Yes. Stop with this. That's the best team in the NFL. Okay, you were playing heads up with the Indianapolis Colts until they melted down.
They laid down in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I get that it was 54-19. It was 21-19 going into the fourth quarter against a team with a commentator as their coach. So maybe calm down on that. But we're going to sign Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah, and
I told you, this is a ploy. This is a ploy by the NFL. Like, let's put the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football so everybody can see how great they are. We're going to put them up against a really crappy team. And they gave them what they wanted, at least in the fourth quarter. They scored 33 points in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Which,
problem is, most everybody turned their televisions off before it got to that point.
Yes, because it was eye broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're fine. The Philadelphia Eagles would love a word of, you know, we already did this once, right?
Right.
And we'll do it again. I mean, do you buy into this Cowboy team at all?
I mean, I buy into the fact that they're the second or third best team in the NFC.
Okay. You like them better than the 49ers? Because I don't.
I still have to see more. I still have to see more from Brock Purdy. I got to see how this goes because I'm
not really sure I care.
Without a competent quarterback, then yeah, I kind of like Dallas better.
I don't. This just has stereotypical Dallas Cowboys. The fans get super loud, and then you get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not winning this division. I hate to break it to you.
No,
the Eagles are winning this division. They're going to win it probably pretty comfortably.
Yes.
And then you get Tampa Tommy, because they're going to be the 4th division winner.
Mm-hmm.
And are you going to be shocked if the Bucs beat them?
No.
Because I won't be in the least.
I mean, yes, the way I've seen my team play this year, I would be kind of shocked. But there again, I believe so little in the Cowboys' ability to go into win big games that, no, it wouldn't shock me. Dallas has the propensity to let us down, and this is setting up for a perfect letdown once again. There are franchises in this league where we go, oh, well, it's cute that they're going to give you hope, but they're going to let you down in the end. Now, the problem is we are so chock full of that now in the NFL with the way the landscape is. You got the Dallas Cowboys up there, Lucy pulling the football. You got the New York Jets up there, Lucy pulling the football. Same thing could go for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, you got a lot of teams here that you can't really believe in. Buffalo Bills, same thing. Buffalo Bills over and over and over again, held dating back to the 1990s. They have done this over and over. Get so close, and then Lucy drops the football. Cincinnati Bengals, I'll put them in that category as well. How many times did they make it to the playoffs under Marvin Lewis and then do nothing? Now, granted, they just made a Super Bowl, so it's hard to look back and go, oh, Joe Burrow doesn't have it or whatever, because that's clearly insane. But again, historically, this is a franchise that you can't trust in.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes back to the way we ended the last hour. I still have more faith in Kansas City because I've seen them do it so many times than I do in the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, I have great faith in the Dallas Cowboys. I have great faith in the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
That they're going to piddle in your punch bowl the first opportunity they get.
They could.
And does the Odell thing sway you at all? He's in Dallas today. And I don't see any way he...
I think it no doubt makes them better. I think it no doubt gives them another option to score points on you. The problem is, it's like, I already feel like you're better than everybody else except for Philly. And does adding Odell Beckham Jr. make you better than Philly? No. I don't feel like maybe it closes the gap. Maybe it closes the gap a little bit, but I still feel like Philly's better.
Oh, I don't really think it's all that close. The Dallas Cowboys are the really loud bully. They can beat the smoke off of every little small kid.
Mm-hmm.
Let's. How about you pick on somebody your own size, and you're gonna get the chance.
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks from now, in Jarrah World on Christmas Eve against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I just don't think that Dak Prescott is a championship caliber quarterback.
I've
never thought that, and I'm not going to believe it until I see it. And unfortunately for Dallas Cowboys fans, I don't think we're ever going to see it.
I just look at this as to me, the defense is grossly overrated. And offensively, you can do things. Tony Pollard is a very good running back. PFF's been telling you that for years.
Mm-hmm. You beat the Texans, beat the Jaguars over the next 2 weeks.
Oh, and you're going to smoke them both.
Is there anything in any? Would it be any surprise for you to see them lose 4 games in a row to close out the year?
The Eagles, Titans, Commanders playoffs?
Yeah.
No.
You lose 4 in a row after just coming to being 11-3, and then you drop the last 4 and you're done.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys in a nutshell. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Daily Draft coming up after SportsCenter.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Jet stream level winds pointed right at western North Carolina. That's going to keep some gray weather in our forecast this week with seasonably cool numbers and some showers in and out of the picture. Light rain showers tonight, low 43 degrees. Showers Tuesday, Wednesday, high temps in the 50s and 60s. And more showers possible Thursday and Friday here in Asheville with high temps around 62. Nighttime low temps in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound delays between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road problem free. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 240 westbound and 26 eastbound. Drive time 19 minutes. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse of Asheville. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer. Mattress Warehouse has extended their Black Friday event. Save up to 70% off at Mattress Warehouse's Black Friday event. Stop by your local Mattress Warehouse today to take advantage of 0% financing and free next-day delivery and setup.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Kevin Winter. Payday around Major League Baseball. The winter meetings beginning in San Diego. First deal of the day, most notable, were coming from ESPN's Jeff Passan. He had the news that Justin Verlander agreed to a deal with the New York Mets. 2 years, $86 million. Passan, a guest on SportsCenter today on how the deal came about.
Together because Jacob deGrom went to the Texas Rangers and the New York Mets had a choice. They could piece together their rotation with some lesser starters, or they could go to the guy who won the American League Cy Young Award last year.
And there's Jeff Passan on SportsCenter earlier today. So Verlander reunites with Max Scherzer. Then Trey Turner becomes a Philly. 11 years, $300 million. That's the contract for Trey Turner. FIFA World Cup, Brazil knocks off South Korea 4-1. They're on to the quarterfinals. They will take on Croatia, which advanced via penalty kicks. Monday Night Football, Tampa Bay and New Orleans coming up. Battle in the Raymond James Stadium for the lead in the South. Carolina, by the way, says goodbye to Baker Mayfield. They released the former #1 overall pick. Not theirs.
Make better hiring your first New Year's resolution. Indeed's all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere, live or on demand on the iHeart Radio app. And you can see us in the Ingles studio here on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat.
If you're watching on YouTube right now, you just got to see me eat a piece of cheese because that camera turned on a little quicker than I was anticipating.
It's always a good idea right before the mic opens to shove
100%.
food in your mouth.
Especially when you have this the whole jaw thing that I do, so it sounds like I'm chewing on a bag of wood screws anyway.
Absolutely. Let's try to keep the racket down to a dull roar over there.
Well, here's the thing. You leave the biggest container of cheese in the world in our refrigerator.
And that Wisconsin smoked cheddar?
I don't even know what it is anymore. I'm just grabbing handfuls of it. I think I had 7 different kinds of cheese right there. Mice and me. Only 2. We love cheese more than anything on this planet.
So welcome into the newest episode of Hardstool Sports. Jeez, God, you're gonna. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I hope you realize that.
It is the third hour of the Sportsocracy, and as we do on every Monday in the third hour, it is the daily draft, stock up, stock down from the weekend, and it was a fun weekend for one of my teams. as the Georgia Bulldogs, SEC champions. Good to see. We had chaos in college football playoff world and all of the arguments back and forth, who belongs, who doesn't belong. And then, of course, we had some major letdowns in the NFL. Who you got, Jeremy? Stock up, stock down for the week.
Oh, I'm going first?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want me to go first, then I guess I can.
No, I'll go.
I was planning on you going first.
That's fine.
Okay.
Stock up. Colorado! It's the best hire you could possibly have made.
Yeah, because now you are relevant.
I also love that Deion Sanders walked into the Jackson State locker room and said, everybody get in the transfer portal as quick as you can. Because there's only so many spots. First come, first serve.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take all of you with me, as many as I can.
Did you see his press conference? He had Shedeur stand up and he said, there's your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're not even trying to act like we're doing this the right way, are we?
No. We all know. We all knew this was the package deal. Wherever Deion goes, Shedeur's going as well.
Here's the other layer of this that I have yet to hear anybody talk about. All those restrictions that Colorado's had for all these years, apparently they had to relax them all to get Deion to take this job. So their transfer rules,
gone.
Out the door that goes. They basically looked at Deion and said, you can do whatever you want to.
Well, of course. Of course you can. Because nobody can play the game like Deion Sanders. He did it in the NFL. You're talking about a guy who excelled at everything he ever tried, except for rapping. And
which he was reasonably good at that,
too. He was all right. He wasn't,
He was better than Antonio Brown.
He wasn't as good of a musician as Eddie Murphy was, but it's okay.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Eddie Murphy put out an album in the 1980s, and you don't know about this?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. We're going to have to play you some Eddie Murphy here in a little bit. Anyway, look, Deion brings a level of cool that has never been to Boulder, Colorado before.
Well, I mean, they did win a national title. I feel like people forget that.
Yeah, but I mean, 1991, it was a one blip year. Great. It's not like
you
this
still showed you can do that.
Yeah, but this is not like this is a heritage program that everybody's beating down the door to be a part of.
I don't know 100% know that I agree with what you just said.
Really?
Well, I mean, who are they contending with out west? USC and UCLA? Well, you only got to deal with that for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a whole lot of Stanford and Washington.
And Oregon.
Woo. Oregon's got a lot of money. Lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have Deion Sanders, which tells me that I'm probably going to have a lot of money too.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
The sheer fact he looked at the boosters and said, get your checkbooks ready. Love it. Love it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. How good do you think he will be at Colorado?
I think they will be a Pac-12 contender year in and year out while he's there.
In a year.
And it won't go any further than that.
I don't agree with you.
I mean, they'll obviously make the playoff since we're going to 12 teams in 2 years. So they'll make the playoff, but I don't see you. I just don't see him turning this into a contender program.
I do. I mean, you got to realize in one day he's already got Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
He's already been in the portal. He's headed to Colorado. He's got Shedeur Sanders, who's going to be a Heisman candidate, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
How many players that are not committed right now? There's over 500 players that have gone in the portal today.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them you think are looking at Colorado going, well, that could be fun?
Oh, there's a lot.
I just said this about Lincoln Riley a year ago.
You made Colorado cool. You made Colorado a destination now. Now it's up to you to make it happen, to make the magic happen. Now, he went undefeated at Jackson State. I feel like this is going to be a tougher job than that.
I'm going to level you. I don't think it is.
Really?
Once USC and UCLA are gone, there's nothing there. Oh, Oregon. Or Oregon State, who somehow finished top 15 this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to – that's the name of the game. The AP story about this. said that Deion Sanders was the perfect combination of salesman and preacher. And they're not wrong. Hell, you about had me sitting here going, I'll come to Colorado.
I'll go to Colorado.
I mean, I can't run. You have to do that Garrett Wilson thing with me where I have one catch and then I have to sit down for an hour because, lung capacity. But
right.
I think he will be incredibly successful at Colorado. It's an interesting hire, but then I found out they basically said, you can do whatever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll get it.
Yeah. I don't know how to package my first pick here because it's a stock down, but I don't know if I want to do it for just Clemson as a whole or if I want to take the bits and pieces because there's a lot to unpack here. Yes, Clemson destroyed North Carolina in the ACC championship game. Congratulations. Now you're going to go to the Orange Bowl and play Tennessee, and nobody cares who wins that game.
I mean, Clemson fans and Tennessee fans.
Right. Outside of you guys, nobody and maybe South Carolina fans. South Carolina fans will just sit back and drink beers and watch that game and go, we beat y'all. But DJ Uiagalelei, it could not have started out worse for him. And Dabo Swinney makes the change and goes, Cade Klubnik. DJ is no doubt a stock down that's ridiculous. He's already entered the transfer portal. He's done. He's going somewhere else.
He will be a tremendous quarterback at Cal.
He will be somebody else's problem next year. But then Dabo Swinney, for him to say on the broadcast that we were planning to go to Cade in the third possession anyway, then why in the hell did you start DJ?
Loyal to a fault.
But it makes no sense to me. And then for Cade to play that well, it made us all look at Dabo and go, you're an idiot.
The sheer fact that Dabo Swinney watched this kid, watched that arm talent every day, and stuck with DJ Uiagalelei is hard for me to wrap my head around.
Mm-hmm.
But he threw that interception against Notre Dame. How many first-team reps do you think this kid's gotten in his life? Since we were so dedicated to its DJ. At what point do you just have to watch the two of them throw? They put on the red quarterback, a little shimmy, and throw all. That's a better arm. It's not close. It's not close. It's not hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
I called for this after Georgia Tech the first week of the season.
You did.
Because at the end of the day, he's just not a very good quarterback, no matter how bad you want him to be. I'm sure he's a great kid. I don't know him personally.
Mm-hmm.
But Dabo Swinney single-handedly kept themselves out of the playoff.
Yep.
Because if you had switched to Cade Klubnik when I told you to, there is no way you would have lost to Notre Dame,
yep.
And there's no way you would have lost to South Carolina.
Indeed. I fully agree.
Would you have been the 4 and probably gotten annihilated? Sure. Do you realize how much this team is losing? With Miles Murphy, Brian Brise, Trenton Simpson, that's a lot of pieces to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to tell you this, and you call me a homer all you want to, Mike Norvell's made Florida State cool again. So I tried to tell you this years ago of you think you're just going to show up and win the ACC every year? We did this for 20 years. We were the ACC for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hubris comes shortly before the fall.
Right. Again.
And do you really think that offensive – and I'll take this one step further. Do you not think offensive recruits watched that game and went, how did he not figure this out? Because if you don't – if that's not how you think that went, I got a bridge to sell you.
Mm-hmm.
Parents of offensive players have got to be watching that going, you couldn't figure out that this kid is better than that. Okay.
Yep. So, again, congratulations on the championship, Dabo. But it made all of us go, you could have been undefeated. You could have been in the playoff. All you had to do was admit what we all thought was true weeks and weeks and weeks before you did. The Cade Klubnik is the guy. And now, like I said, DJ's already entered the transfer portal, and let's move on. But another ring, he said it before the game. Hey, you lose this game, it's a good year. You win this game, it's a great year. Is it, though? Is it a great
No.
year that you won the ACC championship game? Congratulations. Again, you're going to the Orange Bowl.
I feel like Clemson is going to struggle to get offensive talent moving forward.
And they very well may. And then my second stock down for the weekend, it's the Baltimore Ravens. And look, after I just said I think they could move on and there's a chance that they could still make the playoffs without Lamar Jackson, there's also a great possibility that they can't. That team wasn't great offensive. Look, when we played Beat the Chief on Friday, I took Denver plus the 9.5 because I had a feeling that this wasn't going to be close, or this wasn't going to be a blowout anyway. And then you lose Lamar Jackson in the first quarter, and Tyler Huntley did not look good.
I took the under aggressively.
As well you should have. Good for you. But the 10-9 win.
You barely broke 500 combined yards in an NFL game.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't really do much to boost the confidence moving forward. I still think this is a good team. I still think they will find a way to limp into the playoffs without Lamar Jackson for a few weeks. Get him healthy, get him back, maybe it makes a difference. But to me, losing him, obviously, your season is on the brink of disaster. Again. And unfortunately, I think that's all going to come back to roost when it comes contract talk time.
My stock down, and this is – I don't love it, but it's true. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. Just the entire franchise. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I've ever seen a team that's this talented that feels this broken. I mean, offensively, teams are getting whatever they want against you. Mm-hmm. And, fun times, your reward for losing to the Raiders, the Chiefs, and the 49ers in the last 4 weeks, now you get the best offense in the NFL. How do you think that's going to go? It's bad. Bad, and it all starts and ends with Brandon Staley to me. Any other coach, frankly, yes, I would back the Brinks truck up for Sean Payton. I don't care who it is. I think any coach in the NFL will be better than what you're getting out of Brandon Staley right now. This team looks lost. They look ill-prepared.
Ben McAdoo.
Okay, maybe not any coach.
Okay, I just wanted to see how far you would test those limits.
I want an offensive coach, and I'd prefer it to be a veteran offensive coach. This is not one of those places where I think you go get the Mike Kafka or the Ken Dorsey or the young guy. No, I want somebody established in this league. Herbert has regressed under Staley, and that's a great talent. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'd do it right now.
Mid-season,
I'd have fired him right now.
Okay.
That's the only shot you're making the playoffs. Because you play the Dolphins and the Titans the next 2 weeks, and I hate to break this to you, if Brandon Staley's the one that's on that sideline, you are going to get absolutely hammered in one of those, and it might be both. You might get the fired coach bump for a week. Now, who you would promote to the interim, I have absolutely no idea. I haven't looked at the staff. It wouldn't be Lombardi, I can tell you that much. And like B. Malik said in our YouTube comments, Staley's a defensive coach, and his defense is terrible.
Exactly.
With stars everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need to know.
Mm-hmm. Next pick. Oh, wait.
No. We just did that. We did that thing.
All right. Daily Draft will continue up next right here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slowing 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 westbound, light delays between Elk Mountain Road and New Stock Road. 40 westbound in Haywood County is stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Hendersonville Road moving problem-free. Sweeten Creek Road southbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Mills Gap Road is moving problem-free. Cane Creek Road no backups. I'm Lee Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The rumors are true. Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell for a limited time. So if you've been craving those golden fries with their Mexican spices and that warm nacho cheese sauce you dip them in, go to Taco Bell and order some today. Contact store for participation, which varies.
The Where Were You in 92 podcast brings you back to the year of big butt anthems, achy breaky hearts, and grunge. Take an audio trip back in time to relive the wildest, most eclectic, and controversial 12 months in music through interviews with critics, industry bigwigs, and the artists themselves.
Take me back to a magical time when music was magic, and I had completely burned that to the ground.
Listen to Where Were You in 92 on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
Dancing crew, trip for 2, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid. Give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free, updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
And stop eating all the cheese. Like, are you a rat?
I like cheese.
Good night.
What are you, a cop?
You have eaten more cheese
cop?
today. No, I'm trying to look out for you as a friend. Like you're getting to the age where you can no longer do this to yourself.
Well, here's the thing. I think we've proven it time and time again that my body is a well-oiled machine that could withstand things that most others cannot. i.e. 37 domestic lights.
Yeah, this is very true. Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on an Overreaction Monday. We're in the middle of the daily draft. Stock up, stock down from the weekend. Jeremy wisely with his first pick goes Colorado. Stock up, no doubt about it. Deion Sanders being added to that program just completely changes the game for Colorado out west. Then I went Dabo/Clemson/DJ because it was – despite winning the ACC championship, it was a bad look that Cade Klubnik came in and looked so good that it made Dabo look clueless. And DJ, well, you ain't got to worry about him anymore, Tigers fans. He's already entered the transfer portal.
I think he actually tried to enter it on the fourth drive, and they went, no, you got to wait for the game to be over.
Right. The Baltimore Ravens losing Lamar Jackson, that was the other stock down for me. For my second pick, and then Jeremy goes with the Los Angeles Chargers stock down, which I think I took them 2 weeks ago, so I really didn't want to have to take them again. So now it's Jeremy's turn again in the snake draft. Stock up, stock down from the weekend. Where are you going?
I'm going the USC Trojans.
Okay. Didn't go your way.
All you had to do was win. And you didn't just lose, you completely fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
And the score looks worse than it was. The fourth quarter was bad. But I mean, how big of a leg up would that have given Lincoln Riley getting into the playoff?
A leg up to what, though? I mean, you get into the playoff and lose. Okay. I mean,
yeah, but you're still there. We still talk about you for a month. Of this team was 4-8 last year, and Lincoln Riley puts them in a playoff in a year.
I don't feel like it makes that much difference. Lincoln was still going to get the players anyway.
I'm not saying that they're going to be that they're not still going to be good. I'm saying there are probably a handful of players that saw Caleb Williams just melt down and went, maybe I'll listen when Prime calls.
But he got hurt. How can you put that on Lincoln or his preparation of the quarterback?
Because like many other people, I'm not saying every recruit watched the game. I'm saying you pull open you look at the box score on ESPN and go, good Lord, they got smoked. It didn't mean you watched it.
Right.
But that free month of Lincoln Riley publicity would have been an added boost to USC.
It would be. It would have been. But I feel like we're going to talk about that anyway. USC, to me, still claimed that they're back under Lincoln Riley. I don't think anybody's too shocked that they didn't make the college football playoff when, hell, 3 weeks ago we weren't even talking about them being in the discussion of the college football playoff.
I'm also angry that I lost a wager that I had USC in the playoff.
And that'll do it.
At plus a very sizable number.
That'll do it to you. Okay. I get where you're going. Now it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go with another team that won this weekend, but we don't feel all that good about you. It's TCU. You barely survived against Kansas State, or you lost to Kansas State.
You didn't barely survive. You lost.
But what I'm saying is you had a chance.
Again.
But what I'm saying is you had a chance, and just treading water is not what I wanted to see from a team who's getting a berth into the college football playoff, and that's exactly what TCU is. They fall behind, and then they tread water to get their head above water finally. And you still ended up losing the game. And even though it's when I say win, it's still considered a win for them to get into the college football playoff.
And get smoked.
Nobody has any hopes that you're going to do
No, they're going to get smoked. This team's not very good.
Right. You're going to get behind to Michigan, and you're never going to be able to climb out of that hole.
No, they're just going to physically manhandle you because they are so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a cute little system. I feel like TCU being in this is a loss for the playoff.
I would agree.
If you had those board members in a room and they had to tell you the truth, they wish this had gone down that USC would have won.
Mm-hmm.
USC wins, TCU loses, Ohio State slides in a TCU spot. And then you get USC, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia. And everybody's happier that way.
Look, I know everybody all the Alabama haters flipped out when they saw the video from Nick Saban, quote-unquote, lobbying to get his team in the playoff.
Which was a bad look, by the way.
Which, of course he did.
That's a
he
bad
did an
look.
interview.
You're better
Somebody
than
asked
that.
him what he thought, and he said, yeah, we should be in. What else did you expect him to say? My question is, did he say anything wrong? If you put them up against TCU today, who's the favorite? Who are your favorite? Who you had to bet your house on who wins that game? It's Alabama every time.
Man, I'm not as sold on that. I don't think that team's nearly as good as people make. There's this revisionist history that you played 4 legitimate teams all year. You lost to 2 of them, and you could have lost to the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
This team was not that good. I don't know why that's breaking news to people. You see Alabama, and they would have been. Well, what you do on the field at some point has to matter.
Yes.
If not, then just lather up the 12 best programs in the country every year and be done with it.
I'm not upset they're not in the playoff. I just felt like Nick Saban was getting a little too much shade.
I don't. I think it was very tone deaf. It looked borderline pathetic to me. That looked like something Sonny Dykes would do, not something Nick Saban would do. Nick knows where this is at.
Mm-hmm.
He knows damn well they would have gone in and played Georgia and gotten beat by 30. He knows that as well as I do. And Alabama fans, you can at me all you want to. You almost lost to Texas A&M. You needed a drop pass in the end zone to beat one of the worst teams in the SEC. Calm down. You didn't deserve to be in. TCU does. They're going to get smoked, and so would you.
And I don't see anything wrong with what you said either.
Nope.
My next one is a stock up for the weekend, and well, it's not really the weekend. I guess this all developed late last night into this morning, but winner, chicken dinner. Former Appalachian State head coach Scott Satterfield. He's getting the job at Cincinnati. And I feel like that saved him a really uncomfortable conversation with the folks at Louisville. Maybe not coming this year, but it was going to come if things don't turn around for that program and they become a contender.
Louisville has drastically bigger problems. Mainly that their basketball team cannot play dead in the Western. By the way, they play Florida State this week in a matchup where those two teams combined are 1-17.
Right.
That is hard to wrap your brain around. And that one win was against Mercer.
Before the win over NC State a few weeks ago, there was a lot of talk about Scott Satterfield having a pretty heated seat as the head coach of the Louisville Cardinals.
I don't see that in any way.
Really?
No.
Okay.
What more do you want? You beat Kentucky. I mean, look, that team just doesn't have a ton of talent. There's this myth that because they have a lot of money, that's a great job. It's really not. I mean, look.
You don't think that conversation was getting uncomfortable?
No. Not at all. I mean, that team was markedly better at the end of the year than they were in the beginning. Not even Florida State played them early. I watched them against Florida State, and they looked like a different set of players by the end of the year. There's a reason they called Scott Satterfield. He's also a really good program builder that was at App State when they jumped up to FBS. That's exactly why Cincinnati wanted him. They feel like some of those skills translate to their move to the Big 12.
Absolutely.
I think it was a fine hire.
This is the best case scenario for Scott Satterfield.
I'm not so sure I agree with that. This strikes me as you may have gotten sold a bill of goods. Now, where would you rather be, Louisville or Cincinnati?
Oh, I think at this point, given the history, I would go Cincinnati. I would take the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not, because you're going to be compared to Luke Fickell. Scott Satterfield could have done this at Louisville for 10 years. Seat would have never really gotten legitimately. It would have from the outside, but not from the administration, which is who makes the decision.
Still being 7-4.
Historically, that's not a good. Historically, that's not a good football program outside of 2 years with Lamar Jackson. He would have been fine there. Now you go to Cincinnati, where they expect you to be 10-2, and you're not going to be. And if you really doubt what I'm saying, look and see who Louisville hires. Because I'll bet you $1 to a donut, it's Jeff Brom, who's never really done anything of any high level at Purdue.
I mean, except for take him to the Big Ten championship game this year.
You mean you were the best of the 7-5 teams? Awesome. Divisions are fun. I'm glad we do that. Yeah, he's not a great coach. And that's not a great job, if I'm being really honest with you.
Okay.
I guess at some point I have to be nice about somebody, don't I?
Yeah. I mean, you were nice about Colorado.
Well, yeah, that's it. Stock down, Justin Fields. I tried to tell you that if you give this long enough. Now, look, I didn't think Green Bay was going to be able to figure it out. If you give this long enough, the NFL is going to figure you out. There is a reason that little tiny quarterbacks do not run around like that all the time. It leads to a lot of injuries and a lot of losses. I mean, Chicago jumped out to a lead there, and it looked like this was going to be a boat race. And Green Bay makes one adjustment defensively, and you scored one more time the entire game. The book's out. And it's getting ready to get drastically worse. If Chicago was being honest with themselves, they know they don't have a quarterback for the future. But unfortunately, he's been just good enough that you can't tap out. Which I would argue is the worst place you can be in. I would rather be the Houston Texans that are going to have the number one pick in the draft, their pick of anybody they want, And Chicago goes, well, we have to take Will Anderson because our fan base thinks this is the best quarterback we've ever had. Good for you.
Last pick.
I'm resisting the urge to be a homer here.
Stock down Jets.
No.
No.
You know what I'm doing? Stock up Mike White. Let's go. The legend, future Hall of Famer, and Super Bowl champion Mike White. I have seen enough in 2 games. That is your quarterback moving forward. He is a starting quarterback in this league. If it's not with the Jets, it will be with somebody. And very easily could be with somebody that runs that system.
Right.
If the Jets don't value him, which I think they will, it would not be untoward for me to think that D'Amico Ryans chases him with whoever he brings as an offensive coordinator to implement this system. And you've completely galvanized this team. You might lose every game for the rest of the year, and it wouldn't shock me in the least. Okay, if you lose to the Lions and the Jaguars, that's probably going to surprise me. But
yes. Yes, it would.
You've galvanized that locker room. You've done exactly what you were asked, and you will be a legend in New York until we turn on you when you piddle in our punch bowl.
All right, I am going full homer on my last pick, and it is unequivocally, no question about it, stock down for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Specifically Drake May.
It cannot get – I mean, I could not have foreseen a worse couple of weeks. I know I did UNC last week, but you got to put them in there again. You got dusted in the Clemson game, ACC championship game. Now, some may look at that and go, that's not too out of the ordinary. What you didn't expect, or at least we didn't expect, was just how bad the last 3 weeks have been for Drake May. All the Heisman talk, all of the, way too early projections on how good he's been, and he had been that good. But the last 3 weeks definitely showed this is a freshman quarterback.
Mm-hmm. But he got the experience.
Absolutely. He's got the experience under his belt, and now you're, didn't get the ACC championship game, no New Year's Six Bowl. Now you're going in to face Oregon in the Holiday Bowl. We'll see how that goes. And then you got the basketball team that has been the biggest letdown in the history of the North Carolina program. I mean, can you think of another team?
That seemed a little dramatic.
Really? Has there ever been another team in Carolina history that has been number 1 overall ranked and in 2 months has completely been out of the top 25 and doesn't look like it belongs on the court at times?
I feel like we're forgetting the Cole Anthony years very quick. The Cole Anthony year.
Yeah, but even quickly. Then it was the expectations weren't this high.
No, but they were top 10.
Sure.
And if I'm not mistaken, they won 14 games the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, this team's not to that level. You just got to figure out a way for Armando Bacot and Pete Nance to play together because they look very clunky together.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to figure out how the guards work together. Caleb Love has games where he looks fantastic. He has games where he looks terrible.
Right.
I feel like the ball has to run through R.J. Davis and use Caleb Love as a 2 that's a spot shooter.
Yeah. Does it mean the season's over? No. They still have plenty of time. It was rocky as hell last year and then got hot late in the season. It's all about what, Hubert Davis said it last week. We want to be number 1 in April, not number 1 in November.
Bingo.
I get it. But this has been the worst start you could possibly imagine for the Tar Heels after losing to Virginia Tech yesterday and now lost 4 in a row. Got to figure out a way to turn this thing around. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll give you the most important message of the day.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Jet stream level winds pointed right at western North Carolina, and that's going to keep some gray weather in our forecast this week with seasonably cool numbers and some showers in and out of the picture. Light rain showers tonight, low 43 degrees. Showers Tuesday, Wednesday, high temps in the 50s and 60s. And more showers possible Thursday and Friday here in Asheville with high temps around 62. Nighttime low temps in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 westbound is crawling between 240 to approaching New Stock Road. A disabled vehicle near Woodfin has the left lane closed near exit 23. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. On the Smoky Park Highway, no problems reported. Patton Avenue moving well. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, some light backups. I'm Lee Binfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. It's pro time because at Lowe's it's Provember. Over 30 days to save big. Full of more inventory, more Lowe's MVP's bonus points, and more of the deals you deserve. Because it always pays to be a pro at Lowe's. Save all Provember long.
Craftsman Days at Lowe's are going on now. Get limited time savings across the store like $100 off a V20 6-tool combo kit. Plus, enter the Craftsman Days Ultimate Garage Sweepstakes for a chance to win Craftsman products valued at over $10,000. Learn more at Lowe's.com/Ultimate Garage. Offer valid through 12/31 while supplies last. No purchase necessary. Ends 12/31. Residents of 50 USDC, 18 or older, and age of majority and have a Lowe's.com account. Void where prohibited. See rules at Lowe's.com/Ultimate Garage for entry instructions, odd prices, etc. Sponsor Lowe's.
iHeartland in Fortnite. Now open.
Already know that.
Yeah. The hottest concerts from the hottest artists. iHeartland in Fortnite. Games. Yeah. Friends. Fun.
One more time.
The hottest concerts from the hottest artists. iHeartland in Fortnite. Games. Yeah. Friends. Fun. Ready up and grab your squad. Go to iHeartRadio.com/iHeartland to start playing.
The Ingles Giving Tree benefiting Manna Food Bank will be on display at Asheville outlets. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all local Ingles locations or donate online. Help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes.
That's right. Crime never pays. And there was crimes in Harrisburg.
traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies Days of Deals start now with savings on select business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to tap into human emotion. First with some music. Then in a serious tone, I'll say, save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. And even though it was about saving money with Progressive, we'll fade out the music so you know it was poignant. Wow, powerful stuff. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
It is season number 2 of the NFL Explained podcast. I'm Mike Yam, and I got a new co-host this season. Here we go.
Yes, you do. I am real Mike Robin. This podcast hopes to give you the who, what, where, when, why, and how of everything you ever wanted to know about the National Football League. Come on, man, let's get it.
I'm with you there. Trust me, we're going to have you covered on season 2 of the NFL Explained podcast. You can listen and follow on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge rolls on. Make your picks by the Thursday night game at ESPNAVL.com. Weekly winners win a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing and a register for the grand prize, a year's worth of golf for 2 at Chestnut Mountain Golf Course.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at Asheville outlets as a reminder of the needs of so many families in Western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations. Donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville outlets so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in Western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this season.
Coffee still closes on. Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Monday Night Football. New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Raymond James Stadium. I'm looking as little forward to this as you are. This is a big old yuck fest. But I have this funny feeling, even without Marshawn Lattimore, look, I could change my pick here if I wanted to. I'm not. I don't think either of these teams is a field goal better than the other. That Saints defense is still good. I think they will be able to harass Tom Brady. The line's been an issue. No Tristan Wirfs. All of that sets up to ugly, gross New Orleans Saints victory. So I'm taking the Saints minus the 3. I am going aggressively under the 41. I can see this being 12-6 or just something gross and awful. Mm-hmm. But I do have to pick the first player to score a touchdown in this game. And at plus 600, it's hard for me to resist Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave at plus 1,000 is rather intriguing as well, but I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara, first one to score. And a player prop, I will go over 19.5 completions for Andrew Dalton.
Take those wagers over to BetUs.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY. Get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you deposit into the account, up to $2,500. So, yeah, if you put in 100, they'll give you 125, and so on and so forth. New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Monday Night Football. Yay!
You didn't say that with nearly the same gusto that I did.
Well, look, it's hard for me to get excited about this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team at any level. Not having Marshawn Lattimore on the field makes me feel a little bit better about the matchup, but not a great deal. I feel like Rachaad White's going to be fine. He's gonna have another good game tonight, and it's going to look as gross as the entire season has. It's just not going to be pretty. So I'm right there with you. I'm pulling for my Bucs to win. I got them picked and beat the Chief, and it's a one-game spread. I'm up by a game going into tonight. I got Tampa covering the 3.5. Jeremy's got New Orleans plus the 3.5. So this week, the winner, it all hinges on this game. The best I can do is break even, so I feel pretty good about that.
Let's go Saints!
Or excuse me, the worst I can do is break even. So, anyhow.
I took some swings this week. All of them worked. My Jets.
Yeah, I was with you on that, so
that's one that's going to hurt for a while. But
say anything. It's all good. It's all good.
It was a great weekend of football, though.
Absolutely.
It was the best day of NFL football we've had yet. Even though one of those stalwart games was a bit of a blowout and another one wasn't all that close.
Mm-hmm.
Still a good day.
I would agree. I enjoyed the conference championship games, all the drama that it allowed, the conversations that it allowed us to get into is how will they figure out a way to get Alabama into the playoff? I'm glad that didn't happen.
I laughed at that every time it was said. There was just no way to do that. But a programming note, tomorrow is Tuesday, which means Power Ranking Tuesday.
That's right.
And Wednesday, we only have an hour of show. So we will be doing a bowl preview for the College Bowl slate, and then we'll be back to a normal schedule on Thursday.
Indeed. We are just 11 days away from the start of the bowl season. Now, granted, most of them you don't have to watch, but Jeremy will have all of your picks throughout bowl season here each and every day in the Sportsocracy.
Bangers.
That's right. Be sure to hang out with us tomorrow, again Wednesday, and before you know it, it's going to be Football Friday again. It'll all be right back to where it started. We didn't give any flowers today to the Detroit Lions. I feel like we should at least give them a shout-out. I mean, for making Jacksonville look completely inept as a franchise. And I can't wait to see what that offense is going to look like when Jameson Williams is actually healthy and getting full run.
There's a lot of young teams in this league that have a lot of reason to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit's one of them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Yes, don't forget to get in on the battle for the belt with us. Who won this week, by the way?
6 Tennessee was the winner this week.
6 Tennessee.
And it is now actually yes, he is a multiple-time winner. The rankings and the seating and all of those things will be out tomorrow. I have to do some mathing, make sure we get the right 30 in, and then the invites to that contest will go out on DraftKings on Wednesday.
Oh, is this the playoffs?
Yes.
This is it.
The playoffs start this week.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well,
you made the playoffs.
Yes. Yes, that was going to be my next question. I'm so glad you illustrated that. We will see you back here tomorrow in the Ingles Studio.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Jet stream level winds pointed right at western North Carolina, and that's going to keep some gray weather in our forecast this week with seasonably cool numbers and some showers in and out of the picture. Light rain showers tonight, low 43 degrees. Showers Tuesday, Wednesday, high temps in the 50s and 60s. And more showers possible Thursday and Friday here in Asheville with high temps around 62. Nighttime low temps in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slowing 240 eastbound between exit 3 and exit 4A. 240 on the westbound side is slow between Charlotte Street and exit 3. Future 26 westbound is